Okay, Dele, let me
Hello.
just finish saying what I was saying, which was that people make a lot of noise about north-south zoning at the moment. Yet we have allowed 3 Yoruba people to play key positions to have key positions in the past, let's say 20, 25 years. We had Baba Obasanjo. We had Professor Yemi Oshibajo, one of my favorites, who was vice president to Buhari, and a different class from Buhari, if you ask me. And then now we have President Tinubu. So if people are so obsessed with zoning, why was there not more uproar when so many Yoruba people in a row, more or less, came onto the national stage? I might as well direct that question to you, Dele, because you are in the middle of a zoning fight about Atiku, whom you're supporting, and many of the people who are against Atiku are simply against him because he's not a southerner.
Well, I am not in any fight with anyone. I do what I believe is constitutional. There is nothing in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria that says the only qualification for being a presidential candidate is cheeky. That some people have been marginalized, some people have not been marginalized. It is same all over the world because politics is a game of number. That is why everybody strategically look for who can deliver those numbers. So I'm fighting anybody. I will never fight anybody. For as long as we are all members of the same opposition party, we will agree to disagree. And sometimes we disagree to agree. So as fighting, no, I lack the capacity to fight anyone. My parents did not bring me up to be a boxer. All I do is state my opinion, and I respect everybody's opinion. But anybody who says my opinion cannot be respected, that is where the problem lies. I don't have any problem with anyone supporting any candidate of his or her choice. And I expect you to respect my choice. I'll be 66 next month, so I'm old enough to know who I want. And I will follow who I want, regardless of, even if I'm the only one standing by that person. What I expect you to do is to ask me, why are you supporting A against B? And then I will answer to the best of my abilities. Thank you.
Okay, so Dele, let me
Yes,
just ask you this. You haven't quite answered my earlier question, which was
which
a
one?
kind of linking question, which is people didn't make too much trouble about 3 Yorubas being in the hot seat in the past 20 years, but they're making a lot of trouble about north-south issues. What do you think? Why do you think this is?
Yeah, the reason is simple. A lot of people don't know the political history of Nigeria. I've argued this thing so many times. Obasanjo spent 8 years. Thereafter, Yar'Adua came, unfortunately due to EF. He passed on. He spent only 3 years. And President Jonathan had to complete the remaining 1 year. After that, President Jonathan contested and they gave him 4 years. He won. And then after that, so which means 5 years. After that, they still gave him a chance. If he had won that election in 2015, President Jonathan would have broken all records of being the longest serving civilian president in the history of Nigeria. When the Constitution of Nigeria says you cannot even do more than 8 years, they still gave it to him. And nobody remembered to fight that. That died after 3 years. So we need to go back and look for 5 years to compensate the North. Nobody ever fought. You see, people argue whatever is convenient for them. And that's why I said the most convenient thing for me is to respect the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, regardless of whatever gentleman's agreement that you have. And I will go beyond that. In 2023, let me take you back to 2022, when we had our PDP primaries. We people, the G5, argued that the reason they opposed Atiku was because of blah, blah, blah. It was the turn of the South. But Wike was ready to take VPC. He lobbied to be vice president to Atiku. People only complain when it is no longer convenient. As a matter of fact, PDP, I was in that party. PDP they set up a committee which was headed by the governor of Benue State at the time, Samuel Autumn. And Samuel Autumn threw the race open. He threw the race open. That's why all of us, including myself, bought the forms at the time. We bought the form because it was open. Why did Wike contest? It, he contested, it was open. Atiku contested, it was open. Wike did not complain until after he had lost that primary. So when people argue this is the turn of the South, is the turn of the, I don't understand where it is coming from. A nation will make progress when we make our priority experience, exposure, discipline, and so on and so forth. That for me should be our focus and our priority.
Okay, well,
I'm done.
hello.
Hello? Yes, I'm done.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, my co-host has disappeared. My moderator has disappeared. I think the internet wants to give us pepper today, but there are so many questions one you and I can discuss while we're waiting for them to come back up. Okay, so
No problem.
you are a journalist, but you've also been in politics for a long time. What is it about? Let's cut straight to the chase and ask you, what is it about an 80-year-old man that you think can work in 21st century Nigeria at a time when AI and all these things are taking over the world? Don't you think we should be looking a little bit down the age scale?
No, age has nothing to do with politics. I can give you copious examples from all over the world. What is required first, before we know whether you are competent or incompetent, is to win an election. There is no guarantee that if A becomes president or B becomes president, they will do very well. We've tested so many people in Nigeria. We've tested Northerners, we've tested Southerners, we've tested old men, we've tested young men, and yet we are still not out of the deadwood. So when people say, oh, I'm absolutely certain that this is a Messiah, the Messianic tendencies, the Messianic, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
So the Messianic tendencies, I believe, have failed our nation. So we should stop this geography. We are very used to raising up messiahs and we get disappointed. When Tinubu was coming, we were told that Tinubu is a master strategist. He's the man who had the master plan for Lagos. He's the man who did everything and turned Lagos into Dubai, Qatar, Beirut, Istanbul, and everything together. I have no problems with that. But we can see the results today. Okay? Baba Obasanjo was relatively advanced in age when he became president. And with benefit of hindsight, I can say that he's probably been the best since 1999. He's a Yoruba man. Where he came from was irrelevant. Atiku Abubakar was his vice president. And we all know that the portfolio of the economy, coordinating the economy, usually falls under the office of the vice president. It was under them that they had the Okonjo Iwealas and all of them. And they delivered spectacularly. They were not perfect. They were not saints. But they delivered. The economy was much better. I sent you something this afternoon. I don't know if you've had time to look at it, to look at the state of the Nigerian economy under that government and compare to all those who came after them. So age, if you look at America, Joe Biden served under a much younger Barack Obama. That did not stop him from coming back at almost 80 to become the candidate of the Democrats. Why did they choose Joe Biden, a much older person, a man that people even accuse of dementia? They brought him because he was a candidate of necessity. They knew that if they were going to get white votes, get all these things, and get back to the White House, they would need such a formidable candidate. President Donald Trump was defeated in 2020. Why did they bring him back? They knew that if they were going to recapture the White House, they needed a candidate of necessity. In Nigeria, they brought Muhammadu Buhari, retired Major General, a man people had labeled dictator, ruthless, and this and that. They brought him in 2015. Why? Because he was a candidate of necessity, not because there was any guarantee that we perform. Every political party will seek first how to win an election instead of bickering over age, which in some places have worked wonders. What's his name? The late President Nelson Mandela was not a young man. He had spent 27 years in prison, mostly in solitary confinement, without even having an idea of where the world was or where the world was headed. And he became president of South Africa. There are so many instances like that. So even today in Liberia, I was in Liberia, I think about 2-3 months ago. Joseph Boakai, the current president of Liberia. Oh, they said he's a very old man. He defeated the most famous Liberian ever, George Weah. He defeated George Weah. And I went to Liberia. The man is doing great things. So it's not about age. Madam Helen Johnson Sirleaf was advanced in age. She became the first female president of Liberia. Okay? And 2 times, and I think their 2 terms will be 6 years each, of about 12 years. So this age issue, what you need to ask is that, is the man strong enough? Does he have the requisite experience? Is he well educated enough? Has he upgraded his life since he left power in 2007? Has he been a parasite on Nigeria since he left power? Today, if you ask me, one of the best leaders that we can use as a good example for fellow Nigerians is Atiku Abubakar. He left power in 2007. He does not control any state. Tinubu controls Lagos. Atiku does not even control Adamawa State. He does not control any governor in the whole of Nigeria. And the man is forward-looking. He's gone back to school. He has master's degree. He's been in business since his teenage years. And he continues to maintain his chain of businesses. How many politicians in Nigeria live on their own decent income? Atiku is a good example. So these are issues that a lot of our young people might not know. So I won't blame them. I've known Atiku since around 1992-93 when he contested against Moshood Abiola. I was there in Jos in 1993. I was 33 years old. And I saw the way he was asked by his mentor, Major General Shehu Musa Yaradua, retired and now of blessed memory. How they asked him to step down for MK Abiola. And quietly, with uncommon equanimity, he stepped down. He did not throw tantrums. He did not destroy SDP like Wike has done with PDP just because he lost a primary election. He went home quietly, and I am spiritual about life. Because it was his destiny to become vice president, Abiola did not make him vice president, rather they made Babagana Kingibe. Atiku went home, contested to be governor of his home state, Adama, former Gongola. And then he won that governorship election. He was yet to take power when they invited him to come and become vice president. And he became vice president, and his office, anybody, and I'm sure you knew about Chris Mama, Biolu Akonde, Olukaba, Noyojo, and all of them. They were in the office of
Yes.
vice president. The man did not say because he's a northerner, he will now pack the whole of the presidency full of northerners. They were all young guys, brilliant guys, and they did so fantastically well. These are facts. These are facts. If people don't know, seek you information and you shall acquire knowledge. So that has been my role, and that has been my fascination for him. That, I wish all Nigerian politicians would be prepared to leave power and go home quietly and set up their own businesses and run them effectively and efficiently. That's been the story of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. I can go on and on in education, in agriculture, in technology, in everything. The man continues to update and upgrade himself. Unlike leaders who live perpetually on power and and the commonwealth of Nigerians. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I have never doubted Atiku's competence. I've met him. To make bold to say that I know him a little bit. And I was aware of his performance in the days when there was a special economic team with Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala and co. I understand he's the ones who brought those people. So he's a man who recognizes competence. And I think, he's very professional and entrepreneurial in his outlook. But, okay, so you have rejected the age argument. You have rejected the zoning argument. What about the popularity argument? Being that
There is no
Atiku does
politician in Nigeria.
let me just finish.
Okay.
Being that Atiku does not appear to be as popular in the north as he could be, it doesn't have, at least this is what we're told, and he's not that popular in the south. And in the north, he hasn't managed to capture the kind of devotion that people like Buhari have captured in the past.
My dear sister, I don't know where you are getting all these fallacies from. There is no politician today, except that Tinubu is now president of Nigeria. There is no politician, and that includes Peter Obi, that includes Kwankwaso, as popular as Atiku in Nigeria and beyond. He's a man who started running in 1993. A man who became vice president of Nigeria in 19. Please, let's not insult history. There is no one. Forget when we're talking about organic popularity at the time, there was no social media. Atiku was there. Atiku, look, go and check what they call the PDM structure from Yaradua in those days. There was no social media. There is no part of Nigeria today where an Atiku is not at home. There is none. In fact, he likes to describe himself as a Lagos boy. This is a man who, as a customs officer, had worked all over Nigeria. There is nowhere you go, and I've traveled extensively with this man. There is nowhere you go where Atiku is not a household name. So let's not insult the fact that he's quiet, he's passing on, he doesn't speak all the time. Just one interview he granted about 2-3 weeks ago, everywhere side. That is his strength. That
Okay,
is a,
let me
he's
let
a
me
silent powerhouse. You see him
let me
everywhere he goes. You would think he's the president. He carries himself with the gait of a president in waiting. And that is why APC, if there's one president, forget about them saying, why do you think we can go and say every party should own to the south? Because they know there is no southerner who has the capacity to face Tinubu. It's a game of number. It's not a game of just emotion and sentiment. It's a game of number. And the number today is that even in the last election, I listened to, excuse me, my very dear sister, the earlier speaker you engaged, when she was saying that the Peter Obi and all that. I have nothing against Peter Obi. Peter Obi, I can even tell you, I am closer to Peter Obi than to Atiku. Peter Obi has been to my house in London, been to my house in Nigeria, been to my house in Ghana. If we were enemies, that would not have happened. But let us give honor to who is due. It was the vision of Atiku that gave Peter Obi in 2019 that ticket. A lot of governors fought Atiku because of it and inside that. They fought him, they insulted him. Who is Peter Obi? Has he done more than being the governor of Anambra? That's what they were saying. Atiku said, no, I see the talent, I see the potential in this gentleman. And don't forget that the office of the DP is not as useless as people think. It depends on the owner, occupier of that office. Atiku made the best use of that office. The president of Ghana today was once a vice president. He made the best use of that office. And John Mahama today is president. Okay? The president of Liberia today was once a vice president. He made the best use of that office, and today he is president. Oshibajo was a vice president. He is not yet a president. But trust me, many Nigerians today now know his capacity. So there are times when you get things easily at once, like Tinubu, and there are times when you just have to bid your time. You can't advise anyone on which one to choose. But what I know today is that in ADC, there is nobody with the capacity of Atiku Abubakar. Whether you honor him, you believe it, politics is not religion. So politics is a game of number I will continue to repeat. Today, I will use Isaac Newton's third law of motion. Actions and reactions are always equal and opposite. To defeat Tinubu, you have to come at him from the opposite direction. That is the truth. Tinubu is not stupid. Seyi Tinubu is not stupid. Doing city boys in Southeast, they know what they are doing. It is to whittle down the influence of Obi in Southeast and South. You can see they've gone to Edo. They know what they are doing. So, but one territory that is important enough, those are the 19 states in the northern Nigeria plus Abuja. Someone said earlier today, I listened and I shook my head, that Obi was rigged out on the last election that he won it. With all due respect, personally, I don't believe that story. Because even in America, race is a factor. In Nigeria, ethnicity is a major factor. That is the truth. And I will play you a tape where Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, just a few years ago, said it, that he cannot be subordinate to Peter Obi. And told Peter Obi pointedly, Northerners will not vote for him. Not because he's not brilliant, because of where he comes from. That is not me talking. That's Dr. Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso talking. If you are not aware of that tape, I send it to you to play it to your listeners. So don't let's underrate these things. For anybody to say Obi defeated Atiku in the north in the last election, I beg. We should learn to be humble small.
Okay. Dele, do you believe that Atiku beat Tinubu, or do you believe he came second? Because let me tell you why people.
No, I'm a law-abiding Nigeria.
Okay.
According to INEC and the Supreme Court of Nigeria, Tinubu came first, Atiku came second, Obi came third, and Kwankwaso came fourth. And I accept it in good faith. I do not have any other proof. So I am not one of those people who will just say what I know nothing about. I cannot say, yes, we believe that Atiku won the election, just like obedience believe that Obi won the election. But I am telling you, as a law-abiding Nigerian, Tinubu won that election according to the result, whether manufactured or otherwise, by INEC and ratified by the Supreme Court of Nigeria.
Okay, so let me ask you. You seem to be stating a certain amount of confidence in the system, in INEC and in the judiciary, who are the people who ultimately determine the final result.
No, I
Um,
don't. I
okay,
don't.
so okay. Because you see, the thing is, Dele, let's be honest. We cannot trust INEC. We cannot trust the judiciary, or indeed any of the state levers of power, the police. It's so hard for an opposition candidate to make any progress. The playing field is not level. Okay? So that's a question I guess
Madam, that is what
we
we
can come
call,
to
please,
later.
ma. No, that is what we call circumstantial evidence. What is reasonable is reasonable. When Obi defeated Tinubu in Lagos, do you know why? Because Obi had overwhelming performance. And we were all happy. We did not say that he was rigged. When PDP won and obliterated APC in Tinubu's home state of Osun State, nobody complained. Governor Ademola Adeleke won almost 100% from governorship to senatorial to House of Reps to House of Assembly. I think out of 26, they won 25. Yes, during the same election. So, look, while yes, it is very tempting to know that they would have manipulated things, but you only manipulate things where you have comparative advantage. You cannot read overwhelmingly, except you just don't record anything, just go and write it. There are places where Obi could not have won. Yes, to tell me Obi won in Sokoto and they rigged him. He won in Meduguri and they rigged him. He won in Adamawa and they rigged him. So Atiku was not rigged. Rigging happens in different parts of Nigeria. But where you have comparative advantage overwhelmingly, trust me, man, trust me, don't let's lose total faith in Nigeria. Otherwise, then why are we contesting? If we've all given up on system, that the system would never work. In the last election, Tinubu won because at the last minute, he had the overwhelming support of Buhari in the north. You saw when the president voted and showed who he voted for. That was a subliminal message to his followers that this is who I'm supporting. Mrs. Buhari even inscribed Tinubu on her hands. Okay? We had Nasiru El-Rufai with his overwhelming support for Tinubu in the north at that time. Please don't let us believe through those things. Atiku did spectacularly well in the north, despite them. Let's be factual. He came second. Now there is ADC. So maybe I don't know if you are ready for that.
Hello, ready for what? I didn't quite hear you.
I said if you are ready for questions on ADC, because now I've moved on the last election.
exactly.
Yeah.
I was hoping that my colleagues would come back online, but they're still blocked out. I don't know why. Okay, let me see if I can go to Mwach, who seems to have requested.
Please, can I ask questions? Can I just
Of
ask
course,
before
please
you?
go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, ma. How are you?
I'm doing great, sir.
Yes, ma.
Sir, I could see that you are selling an article to us.
Just like you were telling
So,
Obi to us, there's nothing wrong with that.
yes, sir. I just want to ask you, because you were saying so many things, Article 1 here. In the 2023 elections, how did he perform in the South and North Central? Please, sir, I want you to give us that answer. Oh.
How did Obi perform in North?
I did say,
You see a
I'm the
question
one asking
again.
you questions, sir.
What you are doing now is to confirm those who say every candidate must first, in principle, lock down their own territory. That's why I'm asking you the same question. Obi did
Okay, sir.
very
My
well.
my my second
No, listen,
question.
ma. You asked
Okay,
the
sir.
question,
Yes, sir.
I'm answering you. Obi did very well.
Yes,
I
sir.
did not tell you Obi did not do well, but you said Obi won in Nigeria and they did not allow him to take power, that they stole his book. That's what I'm telling you. Yes, in fact, Obi's territory is the only part of Nigeria where anybody recorded something% in election. It doesn't happen like that anywhere in the world. But in his territory, he was so loved that almost everybody 100% voted for him in his own territory. And it was recorded. And yet, he said he was rigged. So maybe you can respond to that now.
Okay. Okay, no problem, sir. My second question to you, sir. You know, when you were talking, you said something that there's no such gentleman agreement, that you don't, there's nothing like any gentleman agreement that you know in the constitution. But I remember that in PDP, when Atiku decamped to the APC from PDP in 2014 to contest the APC presidential primaries, and the reason was that the presidency should return to the north. Then, when it was now in PDP, it was agreed initially that the zoning should come to we should come to the south. To people like all these Wiki and the rest having this agitation. Now, knowing that from history changes, what is your strategy? Even though I don't believe that you cannot keep doing the same thing, you can't keep doing the same thing and expect someone to. If somebody keeps doing surgery and patients keep dying, and every day, the next time you say we should accept because it's popular. He has been contesting all this while, yet he has not succeeded in it. So what is going to be different this time? It's a question, Sal. That's all.
Okay. Again, your facts are not correct with all due respect. You
Okay, sir.
said it was Atiku that suddenly changed things. Atiku did not change anything. As a matter of fact, Atiku was the first to offer that all of you shouting, it is the turn of the South, it is the turn of the South. If you can tell me that it will go to the Southeast, I will not contest. Go and check that fact. Fact check me and say I'm lying. And then because people like PK wanted to contest, they brought in their friend, Sam Elotom, the governor, as then was in Benue State. They brought him to head the zoning committee and also go and fact check me. And they threw out zoning because they were so sure that Wike had the capacity to win. That's why Wike was so confident, and that's why he's been inconsolable since he lost that election. He has never recovered it today. The same person who said it was the turn of the South, why was he lobbying? Go and fact check me on that, to be vice president to Atiku Abubakar. If you don't know Atiku, if Atiku, you tell him in a party that this is the direction we want to go. If he doesn't agree with you, he will rather resign and go away rather than argue with you. Atiku has never fought anybody for power. But there is nothing in this I had not said against Atiku. I said no. Number one is my former boss. Number two, he's older than me. Number three, I have tremendous regards for him. I will go and check if Atiku had ever retaliated against Obasanjo. Like Wike is doing now. Wike is insulting everybody, including governors, including everybody you can think of. So that is that. So I want to tell you that it is not true. Whoever gave you that story, that it was Atiku who changed the PDP from the zoning thing. Then the issue of whether zoning is constitutional or not is also another fact that I'm giving you. It is not in the constitution of Nigeria. You say it's gentleman's agreement. A gentleman's agreement that was broken by PDP itself. Then why didn't you complain? Buhari had always contested. Even when Yaradua, who comes from the same zone in Daura, Katsina axis, was contesting, Buhari never stopped contesting. If there was zoning, then how come they were allowing Buhari to contest? How come? Then tell me at what time, any time in the history of Nigeria that did not, the South finished power and not took over for 8 years and then returned to 8 years to the north and then 8 years. Tell me, give me just one example and I will be quiet. If you can answer me. So where did you get this idea from, that it is the turn that because Buhari did 8 years, whether Tinubu passes or not, a southerner must contest? Tell me where you got it from. And in the last 27 years, how many years have the southerners occupied power since our return to democracy? It doesn't make sense. The argument should be who can deliver, who is the most qualified among the top 4 or 5 people who have expressed interest in running. Chibuike Rotimi Amechi, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, Rabiu Kwankwaso. Those are the people that we know today. I will add my brother, the former governor of Sokoto, Aminu Waziri Tambua. I will add it to it. Is qualified. So tell me, in your order of grades, who has the most experience, the most exposure to lead Nigeria? I will tell you emphatically, one of the reasons why Tinubu has been failing is that lack of experience at the national level. You can see what he was doing in Lagos is what he's not trying to do nationally. That's why he has to acquire and all the governors, all the senators, because he does not know any other way. That he has always been his modus operandi. He doesn't know any other way. So today, the most experienced man, and I will continue to emphasize it, who has played at that national level and has worked both in public and in private practices, it's Atiku Abubakar. At that level, I'm not talking about local champions. I'm talking about at the highest level. Thank you.
Sir, please, I just want to say something before I just want to invite you to accept our candidacy as the best option. And since you are very close to both of them, I want to sell my candidate to you that we are the best option. Thank you.
You see, fortunately, madam,
Yes,
I
sir.
am probably closer, with all due respect, to both Peter Obi and Rabiu Kwankwaso than even you yourself. And you
Yes,
can
I
fact
know.
check me.
I know,
Aha.
sir.
So I am telling you, if it's about personal interest, I will pick either of them. But I will not see someone who is more experienced than them and jump over that experience. At this time, people run to the elders of the house in the days of tribulations. God has preserved Atiku's life for us. So while he is here, I do not want to reinvent the wheel. In 2019, that was the first time I ever supported Atiku, and I supported him and Peter Obi. And you can ask Peter Obi. I supported them. There was no demand. There was no strings attached. I loved that combination, and I still preached about that combination until recently, when I got fed up again with obedience, who anything you say, they abuse you, they attack you as if that would change anything. Politics, democracy is about persuasion. So my own advice is to invite you to start persuading people instead of insulting them. If you want someone to support your candidate, whether that person will agree or not, try to use persuasion. Trust me, there is nothing force can do, there is nothing violence can do that peace and persuasion cannot do better.
We are coming to you in peace, sir. We come to you in peace. We
No,
are not attacking you.
my sister, I love your approach already. So try and preach more to members of your inner circle. I've reached out to so many, including Obi himself. A day to my birthday last year, May 15th last year, Obi was in my apartment in Lagos. He came to greet me because he was traveling to Edo, and so he won't be available for the Dele leadership lecture. That's how close. He's a very passionate Nigerian. Okay? When he came to Ghana, I personally went on the tarmac to go and pick him from the aircraft. We went to my house, we had breakfast. Fortunately, I have a living witness. He came with my former running mate in 2011, Dr. Yunus Atanko. He was my running mate, the gentleman from Kano. They know that I have nothing against Obi. My worry is the approach of outsiders who keep ladder that be bereaved, who feel that Obi is an egg that must not be touched. Nobody must talk about Obi, but they can insult a man they call an 80-year-old man. That is not the way of Africa. Thank you. Sister Dunu, I can't hear you again, or if you can hear me.
Well, what I wanted to say was, because I'm not experienced at moderating, but I'm going to try and bring up some. I mean, I'm experienced at moderating physical spaces, but not Twitter spaces. But I'm going to try and see if I can bring up somebody like Watch, who seems to have requested the mic. Let me see if it will work.
You have made him a speaker now. I think he should be able to talk. Whack.
Watch, please proceed.
Hello.
Okay, please. Do you have a question for Mr.
Yeah,
Momodu?
I've got a question, and but before then, I just have a comment. Obi, I greet you.
Good evening,
Thank you.
sir. Good evening.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah, yeah.
Any problem?
He's speaking. Maybe we
Can
should
you hear
speak.
me?
He's speaking.
We
Well, I
can
can hear
hear
you now.
you.
Off and on.
Should I go on?
Go on,
Yes,
please. Please
please.
go on.
Okay. I was saying that I have great respect for you because of all the people around Tinubu right now. You're one of the closest person to him, but I think on principle basis, you decided not to support his candidature and left him. And because if it was for pecuniary interest, you would have been a greater beneficiary than anyone. But now,
Thank you.
I also used to read your article Pendulum in this day newspaper. you expressed a lot of progressive ideas, but I am totally not happy with you that at this stage in Nigeria is in a bad place right now. And an 80-year-old man cannot run anything, should not run anything, not even Nigeria as it is now, because we need somebody. Nigeria is terribly messed up now. We need somebody who will be hands-on doing the job. Atiku, I respect him also. I used to say he was the best prepared presidential candidate in Nigeria, but his time has gone. The age it matters for Nigeria. So I do not accept your justification for supporting him in spite of his age. But my question is, I have two questions. Atiku runs an elitist politics. He plays an elitist politics. What is his pathway? We will not partner with him as the running mate. What is Atiku's pathway to victory if he gets the ticket?
Okay.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir. You cannot dismiss Atiku with the finality of God, because none of us is God. You do not know anything about his destiny. Just like anyone coming to dismiss you now, to say you can't achieve this, you can't achieve that. That's one of the funniest things that I see and hear every day in Nigeria. People say he'll never be president. Some people say Tinubu will never be president. He became president. I predicted that if he grabs that ticket, it's going to be very difficult for anyone to defeat him. I said it at that time. There was a time when even Buhari gave up on himself and said he's not contesting again. Tinubu even said it, that he cried, that they begged him not to cry. Did he not become president? Look, don't forget the God factor. Only God can declare finality and say it is over for you. Even when doctors are giving up on cancer patients, and I'm happy that our earlier speaker is a medical doctor. Have you not seen miracles where people who were given days and weeks to live suddenly bounced back and they survived stage 4 cancer? Nothing is impossible. Atiku, physically, mentally, psychologically, is very prepared for Nigeria, just like Chief Obafemi was. Chief Obafemi was advanced in age when he kept contesting. The winner of Onitsha, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, was advanced in age when he kept contesting. Look, Nigeria is the only place which needs the importance and impact of experience. Please do not underrate the impact of experience. The reason why in this thing, you want to go to the World Cup and you just go and carry all kinds of juveniles to go on the field, you will fail, because some people will make sure that part of their defense, part of their striking force are experienced and exposed enough to understand the technicalities and the tricks of the game. Trust me, Tinubu did not beat this time for nothing. From 2007 to 2023, he was planning, he was plotting, he was maneuvering, he was meandering until it outfogged all the forces of Nigerian politics. You need someone who understands that game. He and Atiku and Tinubu have been in that game. They've been in the same parties. They've been in the same PDM. They've been the same acolytes of Shehu Musa Yar'Adua. He understands the game. Don't underrate. Look, there are so many people in Nigeria. You'll be shocked today who don't even know some of our leaders, some of the contestants, if I may say that. They don't even know, they've never heard their names. If you like, you can say, I am lying. I don't know who you are supporting, but I thought I heard Donu Kogbara when she said that you are a supporter of Rotimi Amechi. I will tell you that in the history of Nigerian politics, maybe the closest person I've ever been with was Rotimi Amechi. I respect him so much. I will rate him as one of the most experienced in terms of legislative.
I am not a supporter of Rotimi Amechi,
Okay.
please. I support OK. I support OK
okay.
movement.
Maybe there was someone else when I was listening earlier. Okay. But even at that, I am.
It was Comrade, my
Okay,
co-host,
comrade. Okay.
who has been knocked
Okay,
off
then I
his
mix them
place.
up. But I can tell you that even at that, Rotimi Amechi still remains one of the strongest in ADC today. He's been speaker for 8 years, he's been governor for 8 years, chairman governors forum, he's been minister for 8 years. So he's had legislative experience, he's had executive experience and exposure. And also at the federal level, there are not many people like that. The other person will be Tambua, who was Speaker House of Reps, who was governor for 8 years, chairman governors forum, and also now a senator. So all the people are in ADC, and yet some people don't want to agree that we consider other people. We can only consider, I'm happy I remember this now at this stage. Donokogbara asked a very important question, which our dear sister did not fully answer. And what was that question? Will you unilaterally pick your own presidential candidate and your own running mate without an input from sorry, a call is disturbing us. Yes, without an input from the party. This party did not come into being overnight. Some people had worked assiduously for about 3 years, holding meetings from Africa to Europe. Please let me just tell them, just a minute. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Hello, sir. Mr. Nadine. Mr. Nadine.
Sorry
No,
to call you late.
No. It's not late. I am doing an interview from Nigeria. When I finish, I will call you back, please. Yes. Please.
Okay, I am with my friends.
Okay, yes. I'm on a social media interview right now. To go on Instagram, you see me on it. You can watch it. And when I finish, I'll come back to you if you are not asleep. I don't sleep early. I will call you back when I finish the interview. I'll call you straight back. Okay, sir. Thank you. Mr. Nodin, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, sir.
Okay,
Sorry.
Dele,
Yes.
do please conclude the thoughts you had
Yes.
started, but please be mindful that we have about 20 people who want to
No, I
talk
am
to you
ready.
and ask you
Even if it's 10
questions.
hours tonight, I'm ready for you. Donukoba. I'm ready.
Okay,
I'm fired up.
okay,
Because level of
okay.
ignorance, of that disability of Nigeria. There are great people in Nigeria. Politics, as I mentioned earlier, is not a religion. So whether you are obedient, you are articulate, or whatever, I am somebody who will express my opinion very freely, strongly, and as reasonably as possible. So I am telling you that a party that was not formed overnight, those who joined it maybe around December are now insisting, and the supporters are insisting that it is them or no one else. I don't think that is fair. So my advice to my sister and to all obedience in the house, I have nothing against Obi, is that this is a game of persuasion. Try and respect those you met in the house, because they were not stupid when they were forming this coalition. It's a coalition, which means they are all co-joiners, and no one, as at this stage, is superior to the other. So I will leave it at that. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's a good point. The need for some mutual respect.
Yes.
And let me just say in Peter Obi's defense that he does not seem to be of the opinion that it is him or nothing. His body language suggests that he is ready to work with others and to concede if necessary. I can't speak for him, but that is what I understand from looking at the way he's moving. Okay, so let us see who else should we invite. How about Osaro?
Yes, ma'am. I've yielded the mic to Mr. Osaru.
Okay. Osaro, we're waiting for you. Hello? Okay. All right.
Okay, if
So it's
if
not working.
if
How
Mr.
about
Osaru is
Oboe?
not working,
How
I've
about
yielded the mic to Mr. Kolade.
Kolade? Okay, let's do it in order. Yes, let's do it like that. Mr. Kolade, are you available? Mr. Kolade, he has dropped off too. Okay, next. Oh my goodness. This network is really punishing us today. Kolade connecting. He hasn't.
Uh,
Okay. Okay, you're here. All right.
yes.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so very much. And I greet everyone. Mr. Dele Momodu, I greet you, sir.
Good evening, sir. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm not sir. I'm just a young man.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Respect begets respect.
All right. All right. I took time to listen to you, sir. And to be very honest, I have so much respect and love for you. But in this defense of Baba Atiku, like you reeled out some information that got me worried. And one, you said Joe Biden was in quote 80 years in office
I
because
said it was in that bracket. I didn't quote any age. I said it was in
okay,
that bracket. Yes.
okay. So no, the last election, Joe Biden was to clock 81, and his party had to force him after winning the party ticket. They had to force him to like drop that for the vice president just because of his age.
And did she win? Did she win?
Did who win, sir?
Kamala. Did Kamala win? Are
She didn't
Democrats
win,
not
but no,
now
no, no. Just
lamenting,
we are
like Jeremiah, that
we are
maybe they
heading
have
somewhere.
left Joe Biden to win for them?
We are heading somewhere, sir.
Okay.
We are just to at least we've clarified that. So they dropped
Okay.
an 80-year-old man
Yes,
because
and he lost
boy
and lost.
under
And they lost.
yes, and maybe
How's that read?
and maybe if Camilla had like been on the ticket because she had very little time to campaign, maybe if she had been the one at the onset, maybe she would have won. Maybe. Okay, so
Maybe.
now, sir,
Thank you.
yeah, that's just a maybe. Okay, so now let's come to Baba Atiku because as at this yesterday, there was an event in Ibadan, and nature took his course. Our 80-year-old Baba was sleeping just this yesterday. Sorry, on Saturday in Ibadan. And we want to pretend like age does not matter? Sir, in the last election, the rigged one that PDP, which Baba Atiku contested under, came on a public TV to say that Obi got a 900,000 vote in Lagos. And they reduced that vote to about 500,000. A PDP chieftain, like, said it on public record.
Who is the PPP chieftain, please? Who?
It was on national TV, sir.
I said,
I don't know his name.
who? No, don't let us bandize. Tell me who in PDP said that.
I don't know his name. That's what I'm saying. But the man
Then
spoke authoritatively because he said,
when you get more facts, then bring it on.
oh, okay, maybe I will forward that to you
Thank you.
personally because I'm surprised that that you don't
Ah,
even see that on national TV.
no, so is it everything that they say on national TV that is gospel truth? That's why I'm asking you who said it. So
Oh,
before you use something as an example, be absolutely sure. That's why I'm not fighting you.
oh,
I'm
okay,
just saying that it is not
okay, sir.
true. Yes. So
Okay,
if when you
okay,
remember the name of the person, then I will acknowledge it.
okay. I will get you the name of the person and I will send it to you in your DM. So, sir,
Oh,
let's move
okay.
forward. In this last election, the result as released by INEC, we got to know that Peter Obi won 2 regions. the North, sorry, 1-3 region, the North Central, the Southeast, and the South-South. Baba Atiku won only one region, which is the Northeast. The Northeast. Sorry, Tinubu won 3 regions: the Southwest, the North West, and the North Central. Sorry, Peter Obi won 2.
Can I respond to that?
If you want to.
Election results in Nigeria are not won by regions. Number one, they are won by 2/3 of 36 states, including Abuja. Are you hearing me,
Yes, sir? And this is where I'm driving to, sir. I think you should have let me landed. So you should have let me landed, sir.
Won by popular majority.
Hold on.
They are not won by.
I'm trying to.
The entire Southeast. What is the total population of those who voted in the Southeast?
Just hold on, sir. Just hold on. Let me just land. Let me just. I was heading somewhere.
Okay.
So where I was heading to is Atiku.
Okay, can you land quickly, please? Because other people would like to talk too.
Okay. The North, where Baba Atiku came from, he could not even win the North outrightly. Tinubu defeated him in the same North where he came from. So how are we sure that Atiku will not just waste our ticket? And remember, he ran with how many governors, how many senators, how many sitting out of rep members? He squandered all that assets. So what is the assurance that this time that we have none, that it would get us to victory? Thank you.
Okay. I want to repeat that elections are not won by regions. They are won by states and popular mandates. When Tinubu ran the last time, he had the solid and robust support of Muhammadu Buhari of blessed memory, who is no longer there. Has Tinubu not mismanaged the Buhari support today? In northern Nigeria, you know that politics is a serious game. It is not a joke. After Buhari, the next person is like a queuing system, because they are very structured. After Buhari, and despite Buhari's support, Atiku came second. So which of the wins were you referring to just now? You said Obi was rigged, okay? And now you are saying Atiku did not win. So I don't know which one to take. Atiku,
sir, I never mentioned Obi in my submission.
You said I never said Obi was rigged. You mentioned him. You said he won North Central, he won South, and he won Southeast. And I'm telling you,
I said he won Southeast. I said Tinubu won North Central, sir.
No.
I don't want you to.
Okay, listen to this, sir. You are talking about region. If you aggregate all the votes in the Southeast and join it to all the votes in the South, can that make anybody a president? That's number one question for you. Number two, you said, or you get the impression that someone said on national television that Obi was reduced by 900,000. I have no idea. So what I will continue to rest my case upon is that the INEC and the Supreme Court, validated INEC, said Tinubu was number 1, Atiku was number 2, Obi was number 3, and Kwankwaso was number 4. We do not have any other evidence to contradict that. And we'll be running foul of the law if we insist. But there's nothing wrong with it. You can insist. I don't think anybody's going to arrest you for that. So I am I'm basing my own facts. Atiku represented PDP. The PDP now win in Osun State. The home state of Tinubu, Tinubu is originally from Iragbiji in Osun State. He lost his state. We didn't complain about it. In Lagos State, which he has held down for 20-something years, Tinubu lost to be there. We did not complain that it was rigged. What we are hearing now is that it was reduced. It is possible. I'm not saying it is impossible. But what I'm saying, you are saying, are we sure Atiku will not waste our vote? If he did not waste our vote in the last election and he came second, who told you that he cannot do better? If Buhari lost in 2011 to Jonathan, a southerner, with all the popularity and humongous votes from the north, they did not make up for it in 2015. So who tells you that now that Buhari is no longer there and Tinubu has even mismanaged his relationship with the Buhari guys? He's fighting Rufai, fighting Malami and all of them. So who says that Atiku will not coast home to victory? Who says that Atiku will not be able to get one of the possible southern VP candidates? Peter Obi, Seyi Makinde, Chibuke Amechi, and any other person who may still surface. So the race is very open. Even if today, as some people are threatening, they are saying that Obi and Kwakwaso should go to another party. I can tell you that the scenario that played out the last time has changed. Now, Atiku has a better control of northern votes than the last time when Buhari was still around. He could not checkmate Buhari's blistering support for Tinubu. That's what happened the last time. Now he's number one in the north. Ask any northern, they will tell you. I have tremendous regards for Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso. I've told you we are close, we are friends, and I respect him a lot, but he knows. And you could see the way he differs to Atiku whenever they meet. And if you know Atiku, if Atiku offends you, you come to your house, come and beg you, sorry. If you agree, fine, you don't. So I am telling you, this race is very open. I'm not saying we cannot win. I'm not saying anybody cannot win, but let none of them say, if it is not me and my supporters must move somewhere else, or we will not support the person who wins the primary or consensus or whatever they decide to call it. Thank you, sir.
Hello, ma, can I speak?
Oboy, is that how I pronounce your name?
Yeah. Oh boy, yeah, you're very correct, ma. Thank you.
Oh boy. Okay, please
Yes, ma.
proceed.
How are you, ma? Thank you so much, ma. Mr. Dele Momodu, hi, Chief. I greet you, sir.
Good evening, sir. I greet you. How are you?
Yeah. I'm a fan of yours. I used to read your Pendulum every Saturday, and it will be one of the my weekend delights. Unfortunately, you have not continued with that episode. I know you have been very busy in the recent
No,
times.
I will tell you
Can
why.
really.
No, me, I don't protest. I will tell you why I stopped writing now.
Okay. Anyways, just like a passerby, I want to actually engage you, and I will actually appreciate Madam Hostman. I actually do attend your spaces every time you host spaces, and I listen. This is the first time I'll be speaking in your space because the thoughts here excite me very well. So, Mr. Dele Momodu, thank you so much, sir, for for finding it deeming it fit to be here. I don't take it for granted. We spoke last year on phone. I was supposed to bring your Twitter space, and you said I should come by August last year, but unfortunately, my itinerary did not work out for me to bring you to Twitter. But thank you once again for being here.
Oh, you can
Sir,
you
you
can
mentioned so many.
text me, then we can engage. Maybe
Yeah, I have your number. I have your number. I have your number. We have spoken like
yeah.
two or
So
three
please
occasions,
send
but
me a
don't worry.
message. I should be
All right,
back
no
in
problem. I will
Nigeria.
do so, sir.
I'm in Morocco at the time. So when I'm
No, it's just
home,
a Twitter stage. You can be anywhere you are and talk
yeah,
about
we
it.
can meet.
But
We can
anyways,
meet and talk.
yeah, thank you so much, sir.
My
Yeah,
pleasure.
yeah.
Thank
You talk about Atiku Abubakar. And I find it very, very hilarious when you talk about so many things. The fact is, the statement you made is a view. Why you say Atiku Abubakar I've never been a person that very well. I can actually be able to put nexus between the past, the present, and maybe likely what may be like in the future. Like I can predict it reasonably because of what I've seen. Now, when you talk about Atiku Abubakar never being a power person, what do you mean, sir? Because Atiku Abubakar that we know is on record that Mr. Obasanjo have to kneel down for him to stay back. He gang up with the governors against him to take over power from him. It took some level of intervention and some kind of humility displayed by Obasanjo himself that allowed him to become to return back as PDP candidate of 2003 election. The person that held that onslaught against Obasanjo was Tinubu. In 2011, in 2014, Mr. Atiku Abubakar left the PDP convention, and they created their own, they call it new PDP. And if Mr. Atiku Abubakar can display such kind of irresponsibility as a leader, as a former president of Nigeria at that level, do you think he's not desperate for power? Right? These are my opinion, and it's a fact that Atiku Abubakar did these things.
Okay.
Secondly, sir,
I already mentioned it. I don't know if you had joined us by the time I mentioned it, that Atiku would rather move away quietly if he believes that his interest will be better served elsewhere. That is normal. Obi moved away from Labour now, they did not, because he knows that he had reached a dead end in Labour. That does not make him a bad person. There is no politician, including Tinubu, who now moved from A to B, including Buhari. Buhari was practically the founder of CPC. He had to abandon it to embrace APC. So as for that, they are all guilty. There is nobody who is insane. As for Atiku and Obasanjo fiasco, if Atiku was not a gentleman, we don't agree. The governors were ready to go ahead. Atiku said no. The governors are alive. Maybe one or two are dead. Maybe Alamis, I don't know any other one. So look, the truth of the matter is that Atiku had been a gentleman from the one. My first fascination of him, I told you, was when he stepped down for MK Abiola in 1993. After that, they promised to make him VP. They disappointed him and gave it to Babagana Kingibe. He did not fight. He became VP later. I mean, I didn't tell you he's saint. I didn't tell you he's infallible. But all I'm saying is that he has demonstrated that Omoluabi factor. Has anybody been able to console Wike till today? Wike has not forget every turn he insults Atiku just because he was defeated in a PDP primary. I don't want to go back into all that. And people are lying and telling lies that it's about North versus South, it's the turn of the South. That's what Wike is fighting for. Wike fought to be VP to Atiku. Obi was VP to Atiku. Was Atiku a bad man when Obi was his running mate? Did Obi agree to support a bad man in 2019? I mean, let's not waste words in this manner. Atiku plays his game like a gentleman. In fact, what he tells me, jocularly, is that I'm an Arsenal fan. And if anybody can be an Arsenal fan, you will know how to take defeat. We know how to take defeat. I'm also an Arsenal fan. So for him, it's not a matter of life and death. Thank you.
Mr. Michael, you can unmute your mic and ask your question. Michael Ogwo.
Yeah, yes. Good morning. I want to believe you can hear me clearly.
Yes, sir. We can.
Oh, okay, beautiful. Yeah, thank you. Greetings to you, Mr. Dele, Momodu, and greetings to everyone.
Greetings to you.
I've listened. Yeah, thank you. I've listened keenly, and I just have few concerns and also a few things I actually want to correct. I usually hear some of these things in APC spaces, and you did mention it, so I wanted to jump in just to correct that. It's actually about obedience. When they are being classified as being toxic, intolerable, and few other words that we use on them. So I just wanted to say, if you go on spaces right now, you will see that these obedience are actually supporters of their own. So no one tells them what to do. So when any of them, uses some certain words or insult anybody, they are not representing, or they are not spokespersons of Mr. Peter Obi. These are just individuals that are playing their thing, and they feel like this is the best way they could go. But Mr. Dele, there's a few things I wanted to say. It's becoming really difficult, honestly. The way you've shown your support to Atiku Abubakar. And when many of us also start showing our support to Mr. Peter Obi, it appears that we're being toxic. I wish you didn't make your support public at this point. I just wish you didn't. But I mean, I respect your opinion. But at what point, would you consider the interest of the country first than the personal interest of an individual? And what I mean is this. This is digital age. Atiku left power close to or over 20 years. You will not compare what he would have done 10, 15 years ago to what he could do now, considering his age and his capacity to even lead a country as terrible as Nigeria currently. So at what point would you consider, someone you think, it doesn't have to be Peter Obi, it doesn't have to be the individuals you've mentioned, but even yourself, like to say, okay, I think at this point I'm gonna fight, do whatever it takes to clinch this power because I'm younger and I can run around. Now, finally, if you look at Mr. Peter Obi, you see him literally everywhere, right? So in the last 2 years, no, Atiku was nowhere to be found. He literally nowhere to be found. This man called Mr. Peter Obi was almost everywhere in the country doing what he needs to do to make himself available for the people and for him to show that leadership. So I continue to ask that question. At what point would you think, even though Atiku, is experienced, like you said, but that experience was 20 years ago. So when would we say, okay, let's draw the line, even though he has the experience, we cannot go and bring JJ Okocha or Kanu Nwankwo to go and play for us in the World Cup because they have experience. But we need younger people who can do this job. You know how terrible the country is. So I just wanted to get more clarity on when you say experience about Atiku Abubakar, what are those experiences that he has displayed, even just to bring it closer in the last 2 years? Because he was nowhere to be found. But we can actually point out 10 to 20 or even 50 things that Obi has done in the last in the last 3 years. We can point them out, but we can't really point out anything apart from just seeing Atiku popping up to contest for election in come 2027. These are my concerns and my some of the clarity. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I believe we are not being charitable enough to Atiku Abubakar. Atiku has never been found wanting when it comes to defending the best interest of Nigeria. The first thing I admire about Atiku is his democratic credential. Today, if I have anything against Tinubu, it is that lack of democratic credential. And go and read it everywhere. Yes, I was going to answer the earlier speaker about why I stopped writing Pendulum. In particular, every time I wrote, some elder that I respect so much will call me, oh, why are you attacking people? I've never attacked him. Go and check my records. I've never called him unprintable names. Those who called him unprintable names are with him. I've never. I defer to him. I respect him, but I will never accept tyranny. In 2022 October, I granted an interview to Shane Okibale on Channels TV, and I told him pointedly that if Tinubu gets power, you're dealing with a potential dictator, and that has happened today. Our democracy is in total disarray. So you need a man of formidability like Atiku to bring us back to our democratic senses. Is very key. Tolerance has been displayed since 1993 to date. You will never hear any foul language from Atiku or majority of his supporters. He is able to call his guys to order if ever they are getting out of hand. That's number one. Democracy is the foundation of our nation. And if we are not able to practice democracy again, even if you are the most brilliant genius on earth, we've lost it. Number two, you have a man who left power, has never grabbed power, has never misappropriated power to himself and to his cronies, and say you are the only ones who can be this or that. Atiku is a good and veritable example for that. Atiku has been practicing his businesses to the best international practices. Majority of Nigerians don't realize that leadership is not about politics, it's not about power, it's about your ability to manage people and resources. Atiku continues to do that successfully. In education, Obi has a passion for education. Ditto for Atiku. Obi has, passion for agriculture, food security. Ditto for Atiku. Atiku believes so much in the advancement of the Nigerian nation. And he has never stopped speaking up publicly against bad practices. Atiku is not a saint, but those who claim he's corrupt is this. Atiku has told them, he even waived his immunity. Go and check it. To say, come and try me. You know, if there is one person who is not afraid to try anyone, it will be Obasanjo. They couldn't do so successfully. I repeat, I did not say he's a saint, but that's a good example of a leader. Any leader who can say, yes, I waive my immunity constitutionally, I waive it. Try me, and if I'm guilty, sentence me. If you don't appreciate that, I don't know when we will start appreciating good practices in our country. You said, when will I start having the interest of the nation? It is the interest of the nation that will not make me to assume that only one person can do it, and that because of Atiku's age, cannot do it. If Tinubu is doing his own, he is trying his best, and Atiku says I can do it better, and they belong to the almost the same generation, I don't see why I cannot try it. And I've worked with him. I've seen his administrative credentials. I will send a message to Atiku now. In the next couple of hours, I can be sure he will give me a detailed response. I was quite close to the Awolowo family. Those were the things that endeared Awolowo to his followers. The ability to ask Baba questions. Baba will not say, I'm a God. He was surrounded by geniuses. Atiku has surrounded himself with young people, including Obi in 2019. He didn't say he knew everything. Go and check all the people that Atiku has picked at different times as his running mates. Majorly from the south of Nigeria. They were among the best intellectual politicians out of the southeast region. We must give him some kudos for the ability to do that. You cannot disqualify a man solely because of his age. You can't. How has he conducted himself in and out of power? That should be your concern. If God has blessed him with good health, are we going to kill him and say he shouldn't do anything again? You said he fell asleep somewhere. Even at my age, if I'm tired, I'll fall asleep. Are you saying today, because of your age, you don't fall asleep if you're tired? If you're tired, yes. These are people who don't sleep. They're holding meetings all night. So because you said, I've not seen the picture where he fell asleep anyway, so I'm not acknowledging what you said as a fact. But I know that Atiku that I know, he works late into the night on daily basis. He does not joke with his health regime. His doctor, Dr. Ndukwe, has been with him from 2000, from when he left Aso Rock Villa till today. go everywhere together. It does not joke with his health. It takes care of his exercises. It does everything. His medicals. It does not joke with it. And he can present, if you ask him, I'm sure at the appropriate time, he will give you his health records. So it's not about age. Donald Trump, I watch him, he will stand up, speak for 2 hours at his age. A lot of young people cannot even achieve that. So let's not,
Okay, so Dele,
yeah.
Dele, let me ask you a question of my own before we move on to the next listener who would like to speak. In 2022, Atiku refused to listen to requests to ensure that there was some zonal balance in the party, that is the
He did not
PDP.
refuse. PDP
Um,
threw it open.
I think it was
He did not
something to
refuse.
do. No, it was something to do with the chairmanship. It was something to do with the chairmanship. He refused to let the northern chairman be replaced, so that with him as the candidate and the chairman, they basically, the people who walked out, people like Makinde, wanted a southern party chairman, and Atiku refused. Now, a lot of people say that that was a very divisive move that contributed to Tinubu's victory the following year. And some people are now saying that the same thing is happening again, that Atiku is splitting the vote, ignoring zoning. And I know you've already spoken on you discussed your views on zoning, but it seems to me on balance that people are very worried that Atiku's candidacy would be divisive and ultimately defeatist. That's one thing. That's the point I wanted to make. Then I also want to answer some people. I've been checking the text messages. You know, some people don't speak, they simply send text messages. And I've been looking at some of the text messages, and they're asking why you're promoting Atiku, that this is meant to be an Obi Kwankwanso space. Please let me disabuse you of this misconception. This platform is called Opposition Unleashed. It is not called Obi Unleashed. It is not called Obi Kwankwanso. It is for all opposition people, and not even just those in ADC. So while I personally have, I'm drawn to Peter Obi, I want everybody here to understand that other people are entitled to space on this platform. And that we even sometimes allow APC people to come and argue with us or share their thoughts with us. You cannot be jumping up and down accusing Tinubu of being undemocratic. Then when it is your turn to run something, you want to tyrannize everybody so that nobody who doesn't believe in Obi is allowed to talk. Okay? So democracy prevails on this platform. It is for all opposition people. In fact, I wish we would have more of them. Now,
Okay.
it is true that we did advertise earlier that the OK movement spokesperson would be speaking. But we also advertised that Dele Momodu would be speaking about Atiku. So it's been a very rich discussion because we've started with Obi Kwankwaso. Now we're talking about Atiku, but ultimately we're talking about everybody who is trying to remove Tinubu. Okay, I just want to explain to people that Dele Momodu did not gate crash this space. He was invited, and this space was created for all opposition people. Thank you.
Okay. I wanted to beg you, my dear sister Donu Kubara, that please stop helping to rehash things that are not true. And what do I mean? It is not true that Atiku refused to change your charge Ayu. Atiku was not the owner of PDP. That's the mistake people make. You see, when a man is too democratic, you will abuse him. When he's not democratic, you will abuse him. Atiku, I repeat, was not the owner of PDP. I asked him this question many times. He had no power to change your Ayu. Maybe you would have loved him if he's doing what Wike is doing today, when Wike is the sole owner of his own faction of PDP. So I just wanted to also clear that please, Atiku was not the owner of PDP. And that is why,
Okay, so let's
yes.
move.
So,
Okay, we hear you.
uh,
Okay, well,
so
I'll take
yes.
your word for
No,
it, Dele. But at the time,
no, tell me, what power can an individual have to change the chairman of a party? It was Wike who does that. Atiku
wait.
sits quietly
At the
down.
time, did Atiku make a statement? Did Atiku make a statement at the time saying, "I'm not the owner of
Elders
PDP"?
don't engage in frivolous statements that are of
It's not frivolous.
no.
The lack of
In
that situation caused PDP to
Atiku would
split
have
down the
met
middle
with the
and
elders
cause
very
Tinubu's defeat.
closely. If you know Atiku, it's not everybody that is a noisemaker. Atiku would have met privately with the elders. Elders are different from us. There are things I will say, and some elders will call me inside and say, please don't do this. You have a future in Nigeria. Don't scatter everything. Be a builder. People have called me, I've said it many times. Yoruba generals, retired army generals who call me and say, stop attacking Tinubu. And I say, I don't attack him. All I'm saying is that it should be less dictatorial. It should let democracy thrive, because that's what we suffered for. We ran away from Nigeria because of this, then we come back. We cannot afford to replace a military dictator with a civilian dictator. And they will appeal to me, and when I go home, I'll say, look, I'm even tired. So I stopped writing. So once in a while, I come on here like this because I know yours will be a very decent conversation. That's why I accepted to come here. I speak to Shenwa Kibaloye from time to time. I speak to Charles Aniagolu. I speak to Ruben Abati, and all of them. You know, because I know I will have a decent conversation. That's why I abandoned
Yes.
all of that. I was tired of just talking. And
Thank you very much.
yes, thank you.
Uh, well, thank you for thinking that regarding this as a decent platform. I hope it
It
is.
is.
Though
Nobody has
platforms
agreed
sometimes become
with me
this.
today. It is. It is a
Let
decent
them try
platform.
it. Let them try it. I pull the plug on them. Anyway, I just wanted to say, let us try for Kenny, who has been trying to speak. Kenny, are you ready?
Yes, yes, I am. Okay.
Please go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Dele. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you for facts. Yeah. First, I'm not an obedient. I'm not even article. Yeah, I'm not articulate at all. But there's one thing I learned in 2023. There will be an election, and after there is an election, there will be human being. There will be Nigerians. Yeah. 2023. I have to be sincere. I was supporting what they call it Tinubu 2023. Yeah. So in my workspace, I can say it boldly, I'm the only one supporting Tinubu. Every other person is supporting obedient. So it's always a heated argument, because one fact why I didn't support obedient is because it was so glaring to me. It's my own basic knowledge that Obi is not going to win an election because the house has been divided.
Hello.
I think his network is throwing
Hello,
him off.
Aha.
Kenny.
Can you hear me?
Okay. Yes,
Is it better now?
Yes,
it
please.
is.
Oh, okay. So as I was saying, so in 2023, I supported, or let me say, I voted for Tinubu. In my office workspace, I'm the only person that I'm not supporting Obi, and it was a heated argument. And my number one reason why I'm not supporting Obi, why I didn't support Obi in 2023, is because the house was disorder, was not in order. Imagine an Atiku and Obi being on a separate party where we are trying to make sure that APC is out of the government. You know, so now for me, I pray the same thing is not going to happen in 2027, because it's looking in that manner. It's looking like everybody wants to be on the ballot. Today, I've seen Obi and Kwakwaso. Today, I've seen Sheyi Makinde and Atiku. Now, the fact is this: everybody is playing a game. Yes, everybody is playing a game. Everybody is trying to give us what
Oh, Kenny, you've gone again. Okay, let me just
I
summarize
think
what
the
Kenny was
network
saying.
is bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was enjoying
Hello.
his
Hi. Hello.
discussion. Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh,
Can hear you. Okay.
okay. I don't know why my network is doing this. Hello. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. No, so for me, let me quickly round up. I think my network is just fluctuating. Now, for me, 2027, I wish that what they are doing now, they could have done it in 2023. Because for anybody to unseat, for any party to unseat APC, you are not standing really strong. You are standing firm. Not only standing firm, you are standing with your 5 legs. If you are standing with your 2 legs, you won't be able to even that will be Atiku, Kwankwaso, and Michi can come together and form one voice against the opposition. What happened in Ibadan is a good way, but I'm not even moved because I've seen politicians come on here to say, no, we are going to do this, we are going to do this. Sorry, let me take you back to 2020.
All right,
Okay,
it's gone again. Can I respond
let's please
quickly?
move.
Can I respond quickly
Okay,
to him? Yes,
yeah.
we got enough from him already. You see, let's not always forget the God factor. What seems impossible can be possible. It all depends on every individual's destiny. I studied Yoruba for my first degree, and I know the importance of Ori in Yoruba religion and philosophy. Look, Buhari gave up. He said it was not possible. You are saying they have 30-something governors. Wike left PDP. 5 of us left PDP. 3 of them contested 1/3 of their states in Benue, in Abia, and in Enugu. All of them lost their senatorial bids. Nothing is impossible. Governors are not God, and Tinubu is not God, and it's not going to be God. There is a God factor. Nobody knows what will happen in 2027. Let every party pick its own candidate and then leave this to God. That's all I will say. And let's watch. They said, oh, ADC cannot take off. ADC cannot have all these big people. ADC, we collapse. ADC, we do that. I believe we have enough patriotic people who have unlearned their lessons about Nigeria in that party. I believe majority of them will come together and they will try their best to wrestle power from Tinubu, and don't write them off. That's all I will say. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. If it was easy, everybody will be president. It's not going to be easy, but let's keep hope alive. I'm excited that even if just to challenge Tinubu, we are challenging him. I'm so proud to say no, we cannot replace military dictatorship with civilian dictatorship. There are those who don't care. They just want to enjoy the spoils of power, so they will support whoever is in power. I'm not one of such people, and I will support those who have the guts, the courage to say no to tyranny. That's all. I mean, I read,
Okay,
yeah, sorry. I read Wole Soyinka's The Man Died. Yeah, as a young man, I bought my first copy in 1978. And I can tell you, one of the first things I learned from it was that the man died in all who keeps silent in the face of tyranny. And that's why I'm still speaking. I entered the University of Ife as a pioneer Jabba in 1978 and joined the Luther struggle since then till now. It's not about power. Thank you.
okay. So let's move on to Chief B, who has his hand up.
No,
Um,
Mr. Eze Chikwelu is the one that is supposed to speak. They're supposed to speak before the last speaker.
okay, please go ahead.
Okay,
Mr. Eze.
thank you very much. Thank you very much, Ma. Thank you, host and co-host. Uncle D or Bob D,
Good evening,
Good
sir. How
evening.
are you? How are you?
How are you?
Okay. I will start by acknowledging who you are, right? And I think people need to know who you are. Your story in Nigeria is one of the inspiring stories we had back in the
Thank you.
90s when we were growing up. The story of a young man who came from a village with the support of his mother and sold firewood. Correct me if I'm wrong. and
I didn't say
sold fire
firewood, but I did mean that.
and sold firewood and did all sorts of menial job with the support of his mother and went to Obafemi Awolowo University, and from nothing created one of the greatest fashion magazines that existed in the history of Africa, Ovation magazine. Right? We used to read your story back then, and we used to really feel inspired. And I've been fortunate to meet you, I think 3 or 4 times. I've met you once in Lagos. I've met you, that was in the 90s. I met you when you covered Sir Gabriel Igbinedion's, one of his birthdays. You covered it in Ovation. I met you then, and I knew how young you were. I've seen you about a year or 2 years ago at the airport in England, and I know what you look like now compared to back then. Your gait, the way you gallop, the way you walk,
Okay,
right?
Ezekwalu,
I'm
we
I'm
hear
I'm
you.
I'm heading somewhere, man. I'm heading somewhere, man. Right,
Yeah, get
Please,
that
there's a
right.
quickly.
lot of
So
people that
so
want to
so
speak.
so
Oh.
so 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 Uncle D, considering your situation, right? What I've just said. Two questions. Why do you think that for no Fortune 500 company in the world or forward-looking democratic countries in the world, apart from United States, which is a unique case, has someone who is above the age of 70? Why do you think that's the case? If you think age doesn't count, that's one. Number two, I listen to people speak and they go, if it's not Atiku, the North will not vote, right? If we are in this ADC together and we are all saying that we are working together, we are all working with the Northern big wigs, right? Kwankwazo, Erufai, and co. Do you think that if Atiku is not on the ballot, that the North will vote Bola Ahmed Tinubu?
Okay. Are you ready for my response, please? Hello?
Well, whether he's ready or not, we would love to hear your response.
Okay. My response is very simple.
Sorry,
I, I,
my final question, sir. Do you think Alhaji Atiku Abubakar needs to put out a question and say, if I go 2027 and I don't win, it won't be the turn of the North in ADC. Anybody across Nigeria should run. These three questions, please. What do you think? Thank you, sir.
I can tell you that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, so let me start from the rear, has already indicated in an interview he granted Tanzania Golu barely 2 weeks ago that this must be its final battle. And of course, it must be its final battle. So that one is not in question. And then you are saying that nobody, member of Fortune 500 or whatever you call it, is over 70. That is also not true. We have people who in their old age are doing great things. In fact, they were so poor when they were younger, and fame and fortune smiled on them in their old age. We still have the Gates is still very active. We still have Warren Buffett, they are still very active. Of course, there are young people doing great things. It does not mean if majority of politicians in America, go and check it, in Congress, in everywhere, they are very old. And young people supported them. In fact, it's some of the biggest supporters of Bernie Sanders. They were young people. They were fascinated by his personal conduct. in and out. And at that age, they supported him. So to say that because you are old, age cannot disqualify you. Joe Biden was a very old man, approaching 80, when he became the president of America. Donald Trump was approaching 80 when he became the president now of America in his second term. People still voted after sacking him in 2020. So that question, that argument does not hold. Fine. It buttresses my point that in the days of tribulations, people prefer to run to the elders of the house. And that is it. That is it. So I don't know that thing you have that I haven't answered.
Okay. Who's next?
That's Chief B. Yeah, move on to Chief B. You can unmute
All
your
right,
mic.
thank you. To be able to ask you questions directly. I mean, like the others have said, you are, you are one of our living legends, a hero, and you've honestly, you've not put any foot wrong until this public show of affection and support for Atiku Abubakar. And honestly, we have to hold you accountable because a lot of us love you and we love your work. Very few questions. Number one is the fact that as Atiku Abubakar ever supported power rotation, has he ever supported power rotation? That's one. Number two is the fact that I don't know if you have gauged the public sentiment, in terms of maybe a poll or any way to just get the sentiment and just sort of measure how popular Atiku really is. I'm not talking about old data that we cannot substantiate. I'm talking about the feeling of today, what the people are feeling like today. Majority of the people that will vote. If you have not done so, I don't know if you are willing to use your profile to conduct an online poll to even see how well Atiku is faring, so that that can guide us. And then lastly, I'm nervous about Atiku's candidacy, and actually that the possibility that he would ever go anywhere near Sorok, and I'll tell you why. And perhaps you might be able to educate me to maybe drop that worry that I have. So there was a young lady that was burnt alive in the north because of blasphemy. Atiku tweeted, put up a tweet condemning that barbaric act. But a short while later, he deleted that tweet. And up to today, we have not had any convincing justification why he deleted that tweet. Nigeria is a country that is going through, to be honest, unexplainable, security situation, very complicated. Would you be confident that somebody that deleted just ordinary tweet condemning, a barbaric killing of that nature would be able to decisively tackle, the hydra-headed, multidimensional, insecurity problem that we have in this country? Those are my three questions. Thank you, Ayu.
Very fantastic questions. So I will start from the rear again about the tweet. It was very unfortunate what happened in Sokoto. But if you know how elders work, Atiku had explained this thing, that those who handle, he does not handle his own Twitter account. Even me, in 2011, when I contested presidential election, I wasn't handling, I had two people, Oyinma Grunanaize and Kole Omishure, and all of them who were handling my Twitter account. It was later I asked them to teach me how to use Twitter that I'm using today. So you can now imagine Atiku at that time. and he felt the situation was very volatile. That was his, and he explained it at that, whether we accept it or we didn't accept it. And that as an elder, he would rather study the situation and make moves to make sure such to religion. So you don't expect him to just jump into fray. Just the same way Peter Obi refused to jump into the Biafra debate. Have you ever seen Peter Obi come out to come and say, oh, what some people were asking for Biafra was good or not good, even when some of us could do that, because I don't come from the East. I remember the night before I interviewed Nnamdi Kanu. In fact, some people called my wife and threatened that I should never interview Nnamdi Kanu. I went ahead. I told my wife, I said, please, nobody can bully me away from doing my job. So, but that is me. Peter Obi and tell me, fact check, if Peter Obi ever was able to, not because he supported everything that was ongoing, but he had to be sensible enough and sensitive to the happenings around his base. That is his own base. He cannot just go against his own base. Then he will stop being a leader from that base. So it's the same thing that happens. So we like to just single out some people and say, oh, they didn't do this. When even if you are in his shoes and at his level, he has to be more careful. He has to be more sober. It's not everything. There are people who can comment on every situation in the country. Nothing is going to happen to them. And they have that pedigree. Omoyele, for example, has pedigree. He will speak and we all hail him. But someone else will speak and we look like, what is wrong with this old man? So let's be very careful about how we react. That, oh, just because a man deleted the Twitter means, go and look at all his companies. Go and look at his record while in Asura. Go and check the people around him. Till today, the young people, I just told you, a special doctor, they travel everywhere together in this world. Dr. Ndwe, go and check. Is an man. If a man can put his own personal life in the hands of an man, it tells you that he's a destabilized man. If it's for his life, and an man will kill him, then that man will not be his doctor. That's the man who will gauge his temperature, will gauge his blood pressure, check his sugar level, will check everything on daily basis, and will even administer drugs, will make prescriptions and everything, and he's an Igbo man. So you can check and see if I'm lying. So on the issue of what was the first one again, please? If you would come back and tell me. There was a question you asked. Hello? Hello?
Hello. It doesn't matter.
Can you
Move
hear me,
on.
please?
I think you've answered the main
No,
question,
no, it
which is
was a
that.
very important question he asked. It was a very
Well,
important question. Unfortunately, I didn't have a pen and paper. I should have been writing this down. I just drove to where I am in Morocco, so I didn't have time to really prepare for you. It was an impromptu. But if we can get him, I would love to get that question again and answer it.
Well, if he
Okay.
comes back, he can repeat
Yes.
it. Can we move
Okay.
on to the next person, please? I
Yes.
think that last question was very, very important. Let me add
Yes.
something. You say
Yes.
that elders have their own way of handling controversial, toxic issues,
Definitely.
such as the murder of Deborah in Sokoto and the P2B's caution around the IPOB issue. I actually
Yes.
disapprove of that type of caution. I think
Mhm.
putting yourself as an elder who is too lofty to comment on certain issues is actually quite arrogant
It's not every
and
comment that you can put
undemocratic.
your mind to.
See,
Mhm.
yes, there is. The ordinary voters of this country from any part of Nigeria have every right to know what you think about
Okay, now,
burning
sorry,
issues.
Madam Dono, I remember the question. He said I should do opinion poll and see how popular Atiku is.
Okay.
That is also the arrogance of social media. If social media was everything, there's no way Tinubu would have won the last election. Social media is very good. It regulates those of us who are on social media. Unschooled, even those who have been to school in Nigeria, we know the quality of education has also dropped. So for you to say, I will go and do opinion poll where, with the Almajiris in Kano, with the
Opinion
uneducated,
polls, Dele, opinion polls don't have to be online. Long before social media was
no,
invented,
I
people were doing
know.
opinion polls.
I am telling you that opinion polls are failed spectacularly all over the world, even in America, where majority of people have access to it. So I am telling you that opinion poll today in the north, if you want to ask me, and that is why you can see the popularity of ADC from available records. Okay, from available records. Majority of the voters today, of those who have registered in ADC today, are from the north. Majority of them, I don't know who they will vote for, but the number one leader they have right now, after Buhari, and they are all rallying behind him, and you can see, I mean, I read papers every day and I watch television every day. You can see that majority of them are moving towards Atiku. I'm saying only Atiku. Majority of them are moving towards. In the southern part, there is no northern leader that has the popularity and the reach and the network of Atiku. It's always been in charge. He grew up partly in Lagos. He worked in Lagos. He married a Yoruba woman, married an Igbo woman, married. So he's always had part of his things in southern part of Nigeria. There is nobody in the north today who can compete against Atiku in the south. That's what happened eventually when Tinubu, Amechi, and others gave Buhari that support from the south. And that definitely Atiku will achieve, whether it's Shemakide, whether it's Peter, or whether it's Kibuke, Rotimi, they are all very formidable southerners who will be able to attract a lot of votes. Any one of them they pick, I will never say only one person can make it happen. Ultimately, it belongs to God. But I know that Amechi, Peter Obi, Shemakide, they are all fantastic people who can be presidents or vice president. Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Dele Momodu. The other question was it's about whether Atiku has ever advocated for power rotation.
Oh, the issue of rotation is a constitutional issue. And since it is not in the constitution of Nigeria, you can't hold anybody responsible for that. If it's in the constitution of Nigeria, then you have that question that we advocate for rotation. I personally have never believed in rotation. I believe let the best candidate win. And that one, you can't hold anybody responsible for that. It's not a criminal issue that you don't support rotation. Then, because the way we are making rotation look now, it looks like rotation is even more important than performance. And that's very unfortunate.
But Dele, a lot of Nigerians take rotation and zoning seriously. So again, I ask you, is it not a bit arrogant to declare that something that so many Nigerians hold dear doesn't matter? It's that when Tinubu insisted on the Muslim ticket, okay, he got away with it, but it's one of the things that we hold against him because he was not
I'm
listening.
happy that you answered your own question immediately. Whatever is not constitutional, it's not an issue to me. So let's all
Yeah,
go and
but
fight. Let's go and fight our legislators in the National Assembly, in the state assemblies, and everywhere else. At the local government level, let's go and fight them. make sure we get it. There was upon a time we used to dream about community policing, state policing, and all that. Is it not coming to fruition right
It
now?
is.
So
Then
everything will
I
now
have a
take
second issue.
time.
No, I
Everything
have
is
a
not going to be done overnight. Let Atiku get there, and you will see a lot of the progressive plans that he have for Nigeria, and he will sell it whenever he gets the ticket. If he gets the ticket, you will ask him all these questions, and I'm sure he will answer you.
Dele, I don't doubt that Atiku could be a good president. I'm one of those who actually believes that Atiku could do a perfectly reasonable job. Even if at his age he might be getting more tired than normal, he will have to have some vibrant young people around him. But his brain is still in good shape, and I think he's good at picking teams because he's the one who brought people like Charles Soludo and Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala. Though,
And he brought Peter Obi in 2019 as his running mate, which was
um,
a visionary thing to do.
I mean,
Yeah, it was very visionary of him.
I'm very disappointed in Soludo now because he's sounding like a jealous sibling to Peter Obi, very envious. But
No, that is
but
loud. Even
but
there
there's
is
no doubt that he's a clever professional man of international standing. Okay,
sibling
so
rivalry, even in family, same father, same mother. You can't rule that out of human experience.
exactly. But what I wanted to say, going back to this issue of public opinion. One of the problems with Nigerian democracy is that people constantly disrespect and violate public opinion and get away with it. Nobody except a hardcore of Fulanis in the north wanted the Muslim ticket. But Tinubu was forced down Tinubu's throat, and he, in turn, forced it down everybody else's throat. Okay?
But
I don't know why.
people will never do a
Wait, let
Muslim
me
nation
finish,
because
please.
that's
No,
not
I
a good
don't know why a Yoruba Muslim. I don't know why the northerners, some northerners, not all, think that a Yoruba Muslim is worthless to them. Because strictly speaking, Tinubu should have picked a northern Christian as his running mate. But let's put that one aside. Then there's this issue of zoning. A lot of people care about zoning, but you're saying Atiku doesn't think it's important. Well,
He
it's not
never
up to
told
him, it's
you,
up to the public.
no, I won't let you go away with that. He never told you it is not important. I just told
Okay, it's
you
not
that
important
one,
when it comes to his own matter, right?
no, that it is not. If Autumn, for example, had placed an embargo on Northern candidacy, the worst that anybody would have done was to leave PDP quietly. You understand what I'm saying? And
I do.
he supported the idea of a Southeast zoning candidate, that if they zone it to the Southeast, he had always picked his running mate from Southeast. If he didn't believe in them, he wouldn't do that. So I don't want us to start harassing the man for what was not a fault of his. The Constitution allowed him to contest. And will anybody stop Omoyesho, for example, from contesting at any time? No. Will anybody stop Feladro Toye from contesting at any time? The answer is no, because the Constitution allows them to contest.
Okay, so anything the Constitution allows is okay. Then in which case you
Why
should
not?
not complain about the
That's
new
what breaks
electoral
the
law.
society. The Constitution is one supreme, with all due respect to Christians, of which I'm one. That is the only thing for them. They take it as the gospel book that they put there.
Okay,
And when you
but I still
go to
stand by
the
my
Constitution,
point that
you cannot
Nigerian
disregard.
politicians. I still stand by my point that Nigerian politicians are very arrogant and they love to ignore public opinion. Like Tinubu did not win Rivers State in 2023 and he knows it. But he doesn't care as long as they force
I
him
don't
down enough votes.
I don't know it, and I will not help you to trumpet it.
I'm not
I
asking you
don't
to
know.
help me. I'm telling you the truth.
Uh-huh.
Now, the
I
next
beg.
thing I wanted to say was that you say that when Atiku did not respond to Deborah's murder in Sokoto, and Peter Obi doesn't respond, to IPOB, complaints or issues. I think that they should. I don't see why somebody should hide behind the toga of elderism. I am an elder, so I don't have to explain myself in public. That's bullshit. Excuse my language. Okay, so let us please move on to the next person.
Madam Donunko Bara, let me tell you something. I'm not sure if your Yoruba is still good enough. I'm not sure. Yoruba have a say. I know do for. I'm gonna wash a beggy. It is very easy to cook a 40 roll or bono or afang or anything with your mouth. Oh, put salt, put maggi, put vegetable, put this, put that. It's very easy. I am telling you that elders have a reason why they know when to talk and not when to talk. In politics, there are things that they will tell you are not politically correct. It is there everywhere in the world. Okay? It's a game you play with wisdom, not with grammar. What did Tinubu not say before the last election? He said a lot of things that people say, this man can never win. How can he talk like this? How can he behave like this? How can he behave like that? There was no attack they did not give him. But the man understood the game that in politics, sometimes it's not even what you say, it's how you say it. The bravado. He got away with it. Donald Trump, the same thing. Donald Trump think that I say, never. Nobody is going to vote for this man. But he understood his base. It's a game of strategy. Okay? I can tell you that Atiku Abubakar has been a gentleman all through. Whatever decision you reach, he work well with it. He does not fight anybody. He does not set fire to the roof because he's angry. What Atiku has been tolerating since 1993, Wike will not tolerate 1% of it. The roof must come down. So let's appreciate people who understand democracy as a game of number. And that is as simple as that. So if all rank of one another, look at this conversation tonight. Nobody is fighting anybody. Nobody is calling anybody unprintable names. This is how democracy should practice. And I salute you for achieving that. Because when I was coming, some people called me, say, oh, don't go there. The obedience will come. I said, no, they know me very well. I will respond with logic. I will respond with decorum. And that's what I've been doing. I've not gotten angry against anybody. I've not abused anybody. Nobody has abused me. That is what democracy is about. Congratulations, Donuku Bara and team.
Okay. Thank you, Dele. Okay,
Yeah.
so can Mr. Moderator, who is next? Is it Ola Best?
Yes, yes. Before Mr. Olabest mute his mic, please let's all not forget to follow our host Donu Kogbara. Please let's follow her to get more updates about this space and other issues in general. So Mr. Olabest, you can unmute your mic and speak now.
All right. Good evening, Madam Donu Kogbara, the co-host,
Hi.
our guest, Are Dele
Thank you,
Momodu,
sir. Good evening.
and every other person on this. Um, the question I want to ask is just to, or I don't want to take our time much. So, are you telling us now that categorically that Baba Atiku is not going to step down, even if let's say democracy is a game of number, even if majority of Nigerians demand for it? And second one is that looking at the Electoral Act of 2026, we only have two options: either direct primary or consensus candidates. Do you think ADC have the capacity to conduct a direct primary? And also considering that conducting a direct primary can give Tinubu opportunity to infiltrate the party, because INEC will monitor it. So, do you think ADC have the capacity to conduct a direct primary? Those are the two questions.
You said, am I saying Baba Atiku will not step down? Why should he step down? it will go through either of the processes. It will go through either of the two processes, the direct primary or consensus, and that's it. He loses. Why not? It will go. Oh, I'm not one of those who will ever encourage him and say he should force himself on the party. It's not possible. If Atiku, and I said it publicly, let all others say it publicly, that if I lose, I will support the winner. Let everybody in ADC say that. I challenge everybody to do that. That would be fantastic. Then I will know we are ready to beat Tinubu. But if people are hiding behind one finger and still speaking too much wrenching about whether I support the winner or not, there can be only one winner. And that winner will consult the party in the true spirit of democracy to consider who will be the running mate. And even Atiku cannot unilaterally pick one person as running mate. The party will be involved. That is why those who are complaining about this okay ticket are saying, no, you are jumping the gun. The name you will name your child, you keep it to yourself until the pregnancy is right. Yes, there is nothing wrong with you picking if Kwankwaso is your choice, or if Kwankwaso is the candidate and B is going to be the running mate. We don't know. That's why someone was asking. I remember someone was asking in the earlier speech, conversation, that as the party endorsed the combination of Obi and Kwankwaso, nobody has answered that question. Have we decided already on consensus on how the day arrived? And then the lady was smart. The lady says, we are advising the nation that this will be it. And I hope that other obedience will continue to say that, rather than saying it will be Kwankwaso or nothing. I think a better approach, my own advice too, is that, look, let's learn to persuade people within the collective. It's a collective. A coalition is collective. So that is my belief. So on the issue of whether Atiku will step down or not, it's too premature now. Let everybody go through the processes, and whosoever wins, I can guarantee you, I don't know about that Atiku will never go against anybody. If in 2019, when even the governors kicked against him picking Obi, he stood by Obi. So who told you that if Obi emerges now, he will not stand him? Oh, they respect themselves so much. Most times, I think it is the supporters who sometimes create, this impression of, oh, we will not agree, we shan't agree. No, democracy is a game that only one winner will emerge, and please, winner comes, let's sort him. Thank you.
Okay.
Sorry,
So
you have not
next,
answered the second question.
what was
The
the
second
second
question.
question?
ADC, do they have the capacity to conduct a direct primary?
Oh yeah, why not? Everything they said the ADC could not done and surpassed. Why do you think APC is ADC has performed spectacularly? This is a new coalition that came into being less than 1 year ago. See where they are today. Everybody is talking about them, to the extent that even PDP had to come to them to say, look, let's work together. That is being practical, and I salute the Shimakinde faction for achieving that. That was a feat they achieved in about last weekend. Hit Sheyi, love him, is one governor you must respect his God. And I salute him for that. Because you need to widen. I think maybe there are almost 20 political parties in Nigeria today. So if 18 of them, if 16 of them, if 15 of them can come together, the more the merrier. And that's what they are doing. So it tells you, and with the caliber and galaxy of elders and very experienced politicians that came together in Ibadan, that was a turning point for opposition politics in Nigeria today, because everybody thought they were dead. People did not know. I'm telling you, and there are plans ongoing. There are new surprises that will come against APC, and all APC will do is to just cry as usual, complain,
Okay.
grumble. That's all.
I hope so. I hope so. Can we next have, I think, Mazi?
Mr. William. Then after Mr. William, Mazi can speak.
Was William's hand up?
Yes,
Okay.
yes. After Mr. William, Mazi can speak, please. So, Mr. William,
Okay.
unmute your mic and speak.
Hello.
No, not you,
Hello,
Mr.
sir.
Ibrahim.
Good
Mr. William, are you
evening.
here?
Okay.
William is not responding.
Okay, so Mazi, you can unmute your mic and speak then. Mr. Ibrahim, please mute his mic.
Okay. I greet all of you. Good evening to the host and the Dele Momodu. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Okay.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm fine. Now, my own go like this. You said that Joe Biden and Trump are 80 years and that is true. We seems to compare America to Nigeria when it suits us, when it suits our personal interests. My question is this. Do Nigeria have the same structure and institution with America? That is first question. My second question is this. Atiku said that Goodluck Jonathan is inexperienced. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
It's going off and on, but I can just you spoke about Biden and all that, Donald Trump.
Okay, let me come again. Can you hear me now?
There is a noise from your background, probably a fan.
Yeah, it's getting very off.
Yes, there's a noise.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we
Yeah,
can.
Okay. My question is this. You said that Joe Biden and Trump are 80 years and above, which is true. And we seem to compare America
it's
to
on
Nigeria
again.
when it is our personal interest. First question. My question. Hello?
Mr. Mazi, the problem is still there. We can't hear you clearly.
Is your fan on?
No. I just okay. Can you hear me now?
No.
Yeah,
No.
I'm hearing you now.
But
Okay.
it's not clear.
Okay, please. I don't.
What is the sound interference in the background, please?
There's nothing in background. I'm in my house. I think maybe something is.
Maybe it's a network.
Yes, maybe it's network. But can you hear me now?
Yeah, I'm hearing you, sir. Hearing you.
Just go to your question, sir.
Okay, my question is this. Do Nigeria have the same structure and the institution with America? That is my first question. My second question is this. Atiku said that Goodluck Jonathan is inexperienced. Does that reflect the true reality on ground then? Now, the third question. What was the reason why the northern delegates, led by Atiku, stopped Alex Ekwueme on single-term rotation of power within the siege political zone? Now, my another question. Must
I think you are bombarding me with
Two
much
questions is
questions.
enough,
Many
my
of them
dear.
at once.
no, I
Maybe
just
you
have
let
the
me
last
put
question.
it
The
very
last
quick.
question. Why is it that Atiku don't see you and so many others are close to him, capable of being president rather than him alone?
I
What
think
you're saying,
your first question.
Mazi, is you're asking, Mazi, what you're asking is why will Atiku not have young proteges that he's bringing up and
Yes,
supporting?
I said, why Atiku don't see him and so many others close to him worthy of being president rather than him alone? That was my last question. But my first question is that he said that Joe Biden and Trump are 80 years and above, which is true. We seem to compare Nigeria with America when it suits our personal interests. My question in that is that do Nigeria have the same structure and the institution with America?
Okay, let me answer you from the first question. I never gave only the example of America. I gave the example of Africa, where older men had conducted presidential war. What they did with it is another matter entirely.
Mazi, excuse me, Dele. Mazi, turn off your microphone, please.
Okay.
I said
Better.
I did not mention Atiku and I didn't mention Joe Biden and Donald Trump or America alone. I gave copious examples from other parts, including Nigeria. Our own Buhari was in his old age when he ran. Awolowo was in advanced age when he ran. The Owele of Onitsha, Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe, was of advanced age when he ran. Nelson Mandela was of advanced age when he ran. We've had older men in power. In Liberia, I gave the current president of Liberia defeated a much younger President George Weah. So there are copious examples everywhere, and they are doing well. Nana Akufo-Addo of Ghana was in advanced age when he contested. He defeated a much younger John Dramani Mahama in 2016. So what are we saying? President Ahmad Tijan Kaba of Sierra Leone was in advanced age when he was president of Sierra Leone. There is nothing new. Age has nothing. Joe Biden, someone said it that time that Joe Biden withdrew for a younger person. And I asked the question, did the younger person win? So if Atiku pulls out for the Peter B, that means that automatically Peter B will win. I mean, all empirical facts don't support that. So it's not about your age. And Atiku, God has blessed him with good age and good health. You can see it. I'm not saying he's a perfect man. And that will give the opportunity to whoever is running it anyway to do a better job. Even today, most times it's Hashim Shetima that goes out, the vice president that goes out on his behalf. The presidency, let me put it that way, requires someone who has enough experience, enough composure, enough comportment. If it's about age, then she will read. Who told you Fela Dode cannot run the country? I contested in 2011. Why did I win? I had 26,000 votes in 2011. If it's about age, we keep talking age. As I read Janoko Jerome, the of an elephant is not for child's play. Anybody who knows how powerful the position of the president is, we know that the process
Uncle Dele, I did not.
Yes.
I'm not emphasizing on age. I asked a question. Do
No,
Nigeria
you
have the
have
same?
a practical answer, practical, that you said Atiku, that the structures in America, and I'm telling you, the structures in Africa, yes, not as solid as that of America, but we have African leaders who are old, who are advanced age, and they are doing well. They are doing
okay. Thank you. I understand what you said. Just go to my second question.
Then the next question is about Atiku said Jonathan was inexperienced. That was his opinion that at that time, and listen to me, sir, at that time, a lot of people believed that he did not manage a lot of things well. I don't want to disparage the man. He's a man I've come to respect a lot. That's President Jonathan. But there were people who felt that, at that time he became vice president and suddenly became president. Maybe he had not really settled. You can't compare him to a man who was in presidency for 8 years at that time. So a lot of things went wrong with PDP that made him to feel at that time, but I'm not ready to go into it because that's not my reason for being here. So let's leave it at that. He said it.
Okay. What I said is, in your own view, is that the reality?
People don't transfer.
Mazi,
People don't transfer power to anyone. Every everyone who wants to run will run. And if you decide not to run it, that is your prerogative. So there is nothing that says Atiku. I believe the best chance he and Obi had was in 2019. They missed it. They should have tried it again in 2023. Let me tell you, I'll give the example of Ghana, where I live partly. And I've been a part of Ghana for 30 years now. And I can tell you, President Kufuor tried several times before he made it. President John Atta Mills tried several times before he made it. President Akufo-Addo tried several times before he made it. John Dramani Mahama lost election in 2016. He came back and he made it. So in life, patience is also a virtue. It's not a vice. It can be a virtue. Slow and steady, they say, wins the race. If Atiku had the president and Obi was his running mate, who says Obi cannot become president? And who says Obi will not have an opportunity to demonstrate that capacity that we all talk about, but which we have not had the opportunity to feel? Until a man gets power, you cannot guarantee what that person will do, whether old or young. And that is why I kept explaining that I would love to see Obi at a higher level than being a governor. I am not one of those who will jump to conclusion and say because he's younger, he's going to perform better. No, I would love for him. Look at the trajectory of someone like Rabiu Kwankwaso. Kwankwaso had been governor, he's been minister of defense, he's been senator. Aminu Tambua has been Speaker, House of Representatives. Okay, he has been governor for 8 years, chairman governors forum, and now he's a senator. If you look at the order of seniority, you will see that they are all senior to Peter Obi. Rotimi Amechi has been Speaker, House of Assembly for 8 years, governor for 8 years, chairman governors forum, minister for 8 years. So in terms of exposure and experience, if you ask them to line up, you will see that they all have more experience than Peter Obi. But it is good that those who believe that
I have understood you. My last question, go to my last question. My last question.
I can hear you, please.
I said my last question said, why is it that Atiku did not see you and so many others close to him worthy of being the president rather than him alone?
That is what I am telling you. Have I not contested? Has Obi not contested? Have we won? Are we not younger? Answer me, brother.
I mean
have we not contested? Have we not contested? If it's about age.
Uncle Dele,
Okay, that's enough. That's enough, Marty. He did say it.
Behind you
I just
people.
saying Atiku. Does Tinubu not have enough people who can take over from him?
Exactly.
You keep saying Atiku. Why is Atiku the main focus? Is Atiku the only one in this? Doesn't he have the right to exercise his democratic franchise?
All he's saying, Dele, is that Atiku could consider handing over to somebody who is a little bit more
And that's what I'm
experienced.
telling you. Hand over to who? Has he not attempted it with Peter Obi the day we? Have I not contested? I've been contesting since 2011. Have I won? If it is that simple.
Okay. So let's move on to the next person.
Why are you not talking about Tinubu that you should hand over to so many? Tinubu has a lot of. Is Oshibajo not there? Didn't Tinubu hand over to Oshibajo? Why did he hand over to Fayemi?
Well, that's what we all said at the time.
So what are we talking about? You have a lot of fantastic Nigerians. They will contest election and they will lose spectacularly because it's not about age. Peladro Toye contested. He didn't win. Is he not a fine gentleman? And tell me.
Okay.
Alice came from London to contest. the owner of MTV, did he win?
Can I just
Fola
take a?
the father of
Can I
Guarantee
just?
Trust Bank,
Uh,
paired up with Ribadu. Did they win? Were they not young? What are we
Ma,
talking about?
can I ask a question?
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So what I understand by what the man who asked the question, the Mazi, was saying is that every time there was a contestant, like when Mr. Dele contested, or when other people that he mentioned contested, Atiku was also on the ballot box, but there was never a point when Atiku, threw his support to any of these candidates and he stepped down for them. He's always still on the ballot. In 2019, in 2015, he's still always on the ballot. So what he's trying to say is that, as in, he should, deem it fit that, okay, this
No,
particular time
why
I'm
are
putting
you
my support
mentioning
on others.
Atiku stepping down for who? He will kill his own dream when he knows his capacity. You are telling him he should gamble away his own dream because of younger individuals. Is that the politics? Tell me anywhere in the world where people do that. Tinubu has a long list of potential successors. Fashola, Ambode, and the rest of them. Has he stepped down for any of them? Oshibajo was one of the best vice president Nigeria ever produced. Did Tinubu step down for him? Rotimi Amechi came second in the last APC primary. Did anyone step down for him? Everybody bears his father's name in politics. That's how it is. And why Atiku? Everybody say Atiku, Atiku, Atiku. I still don't understand it. What has the man done that is the only one? You are not asking Tinubu. Is it that Tinubu is stronger than him?
No,
Or why
that's
are you
not fair. Dele.
against
People
Tinubu?
ask Tinubu all the time. People ask Tinubu all the time. In fact,
Nobody
they
has ever
crack
asked
jokes
Tinubu
about
to
his
step down
age.
for Sibajo. Nobody has ever
Excuse
asked
me,
Tinubu
Dele.
to
That
step
is
down for
simply not
Ambode.
true.
No
Dele,
way.
it is not
No
true.
way. People, it's always Atiku. Atiku should not contest. Why are people mounting campaign against Atiku not to contest? They should leave him. If you don't like it, then don't support him. I've always said that. You never see me come and say,
Dele,
oh, you must support my candidate. No. It's
Dele,
the right of
Dele. People
everybody
talk
to
about
support
Atiku.
their own candidate. If you can't support your own candidate to win, then so be it.
Dele, people talk about Tinubu's age all the time. In fact, I believe him to be about 100. And lots of people say he's actually in his mid to his
It is
late
not
80s.
true. Tinubu is 100. I will not sit down here and let people bandy on.
No.
I
Jokes apart. No.
practically live day and night with Tinubu in exile. Tinubu is not as old as those people suggest. They said, oh,
He's in his
Folashade,
80s,
his
though, isn't he?
daughter
Jokes apart.
is in her 60s. It is not true. Both Folashade and Oyejo, the husband, they are my aburos, and I am telling you, look, forget about. I've told you my difference with Tinubu is about dictatorship, nothing else. But I will not tell lies against it. It is not necessary for anybody to say Tinubu is 88. How old is Baba Obasanjo today that Tinubu will be 88? I mean, let's get serious.
It was a joke. We don't need to
Okay.
spend 10 minutes debunking a joke. So he's not obviously 100, but a lot of people do talk about him being quite frail and elderly. A lot of people have told me that they believe him to be in his mid to late 80s. People who knew him during the
It is not
Ladeko days.
possible. Tinubu cannot be older than Baba Oshoba. Okay, it's
How old,
not possible.
how old is Oshoba?
Oshoba is about maybe 86 now, 85, 86. Yeah. And Tinubu is way,
So
way
maybe they are
below
age mates. I
Oshoba.
don't know. But
No, they will
let's
not be
get back to
made.
the original point. You said that people don't mock or query Tinubu because of his age. They do. That's the point I'm
No,
making. They
no,
do.
that's not what I'm saying. Has anybody campaigned now that Tinubu should not run? No. Nobody in APC has stood up to say because old age, Tinubu should not run. But you see people who are not in Atiku's party or people who have just joined their party insisting that the man should not contest. It doesn't make sense. Let him contest. It is for his party. If his party believes that he will not win, do you think they will give it to him? And in the last election, whether you hate him or you love him, he came second. Accept that fact and be happy and be merry. He came second. In 2019, he and B contested together. Why? I don't know why anybody would get angry that a man, if I'm so proud of it, in fact, that's the only reason I will even support him more. That look, a man can stay focused and not get distracted. Slow steady wins the race.
Okay.
If he would win, he would win. If he does not win, he does not win. It doesn't change anything. He's already former Vice President GCON, Federal Republic of Nigeria. He has achieved what
Yes.
people will never achieve in many lifetimes. So
Yes.
that's it. So them achieve the last one if God says so. And if God does not say so, they might even lose the primaries. That's the end. So don't worry, don't even than the bereaved. I don't know why people are so worried if a man who is just pursuing his own dream quietly and responsibly too.
Well, you asked why nobody in APC was saying that Tinubu should stand down. Believe you me, many of them think he should. But
I
as you
know,
know,
mention the person, mention anybody in
eh?
public who has said so. Mention anybody in APC who has formed a partnership ahead of their primary. Mention anybody who has tried it.
But you've just said that Tinubu is a tyrant. So why are you asking me this question?
I said that's me. Dele saying is a tyrant. I'm saying Tinubu. So am I not talking despite the fact that he's a tyrant? Has he stopped me from
Ah.
talking?
So
Has he stopped anybody from
people
talking?
at liberty? Are APC people at liberty to contradict him?
Okay, those who in PDP or in APC today, including Wiki, as Wiki is not a member of APC officially. Unofficially, he is. I'm just telling you, what I'm trying to tell you is that everybody will run their race. Even Peter Fauci said the other time that he's going to get the form of presidential form and he will contest. It's the right of everybody to contest. There's nothing stopping anybody. That's why I'm saying that we should stop harassing the man
Because
contest.
of his
Why
age.
not?
Okay. Can we move on
Just
to
what to say.
Eugenia, please? Dele, I
I
hear you. I take your points. Can we allow Eugenio to ask? And by the way, can I just ask people? Don't ask
Okay.
questions
Hello.
that have already been asked. Eh?
Okay,
If the
no
Hello.
issue, no
question has
issue.
already been asked, don't
Um,
repeat it.
hello.
Okay.
Hold on, please. Hold on. Mr. Eugenio.
Can I speak?
Ma'am, I think it's Mr. Ibrahim that is supposed to
Can you
speak.
just let Eugenio speak, please? Ibrahim can come after.
I'm there
Okay.
first now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, don't worry,
I greet
Ibrahim.
you,
You'll
sir.
be
I'm
on
Mr.
soon.
Dele Momodu.
say good evening, sir. How are you?
Yes, fine, sir. My name is Eugene. I'm from Edo State, and I want to use this opportunity to tell you that we, some of us, we are the support of Atiku Abubakar, and I want you to pass this message across to him that we don't want him to step down for anybody. When he step down, we will sue him. He should not step down for anybody. And secondly, some of them speaking here are hypocrites. Some of them live in America. And Donald Trump is 79. And June this year or July will become 80 years. And they live in America. So they will be telling Atiku should step down. He's 80 years, all those kind of stuff. We don't give a shit. Let Atiku go ahead. And thirdly, we want you to pass this message across to David Mark. He should call Obi to call. He should call his supporter to order, or else if this black box will continue. So this is what I want to pass on. That tell Atiku we support him 100%. We don't give a shit. This is not for somebody's birthright. It's not for somebody's father's party. So this is my message. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you,
Eugenio.
Mr. Jimmy.
Eugenio.
I can tell you without telling people that he will not stand for anybody. He's too focused to
Yes,
step down. The only
he
way
will not
he
step
will,
down.
support another person. If he loses, I guarantee he will support the winner. That's it. It's different from those who will
Thank
say,
you.
I will not support anybody. But if he loses,
They will
I
not. If he
whatever.
like, they should bully him. He will not succumb to anybody. They should bully him, and we don't give a shit. He doesn't care. Let him go ahead. Yes.
No problem. Thank you. No problem.
Eugenio, Eugenio, you sound like me. Your language is not very different from my own. Uh-huh.
I,
So,
I enjoyed the man. He's speaking his mind, and I tell people that nobody has a monopoly of this language.
Okay, so
Oh, my
can I just say
God.
something, Dele, about this
Yes.
issue about Peter Obi calling obedience to order? A lot of obedience are way too rude. And not just about policy issues or matters of principle and political ethics, but just personal rudeness and bad behavior. But I can tell you that many articulators are also very rude, and I've also received very rude insults from many Tinubu supporters. So can we say that the candidates, all the main candidates, should call their people to order? Do you agree, Eugenio?
Well, I am not aware, and I'm being very sincere, serious,
Yes, I agree.
that
I agree. I agree.
articulates
When you check
that
very well,
articulates attack people for not supporting Atiku. They attack when they attack Atiku. That's the
yes,
difference.
when they
One
call
of
for us, we
Atiku
also
The,
get.
supporters
the,
called you
the,
an
the,
elephant
please
last.
listen.
One
No,
of Atiku's
please
supporters
listen.
thoroughly insulted me last week, even though I did not insult him. I only said I thought it would be good if he
No,
steps down.
I am sure there are words, even tonight, there are words used against Atiku. But I'm indifferent because I'm tolerant. But there are others who might not be, especially when you confess openly that you are obedient. So people naturally, anything you say, they will say because you are obedient. But I don't care. It's your right to say whatever you
Exactly.
like against Atiku. Aha.
No, but which words have I used against Atiku
No,
that any normal,
Atiku
intelligent
supporters,
human being can't
Atiku
cope with?
supporters don't go first. When they call for us, we call for them. We don't come first.
so I
Go and
don't come
check.
for anybody. Me, I don't
Go
care.
and
You
check.
can abuse me from now, abuse my mom and father.
When they call for Atiku, when they call our principal, we will also call their principal. Their principal is not more experienced than Atiku in all ways. Say
And
somebody is wearing one shirt for one week does not mean
Mr.
that he have
Engineer,
experience.
don't
Yes.
worry. Don't worry. You are in safe hands. Yeah, don't worry. You are in safe hands. I am another. We just want this thing to run
Because
smoothly.
the
We love you.
presidency is not about somebody wearing one shirt for one week. No, that
You
one
know,
does not mean
Oga,
he's experienced.
Oga, Oga, we're in the same party. We are in the same party. We must love one another. I beg you in the name of God. We are in the same party. We should
Well, I
never
still
disparage
insist.
the be of Kwankwaso or anybody. I am begging you, don't go. Whether Obi gets the ticket or Atiku Kwankwaso or Amechi, whoever will get the ticket, we shall all support the person. Let's not fight ourselves. That's what ADC was. In fact, I tweeted something today that I'm suspecting that most of those so-called people, obedience, who are, they are fake obedience. I don't believe they're real. That's the reality. I don't believe they are real. I believe that agent provocateur are trying to penetrate our party so that they can put our party in disarray. We should not allow them. I'm begging you of God. Thank you, Mr. Engineer. Thank you.
Okay. Mr. Ibrahim, your turn.
Please, before we go to Mr. Ibrahim, can I ask Mr. Junior that if Atiku doesn't get the ticket, we and Obi gets the ticket, will he vote for Obi?
Organo asked me that question. When we reach there, we pass him. Bush also go
Well,
support him.
you should
No, they
have,
ask me that ticket
since
again.
I'm your,
Well, you see what I'm trying to
You
say
see,
is
you
that
see
they
what
are
they're
all
saying.
as
You see,
bad as each other.
exactly,
You when
exactly.
you guys are coming for him, somebody did not do you guys anything. You guys are just bullying him
You
as
see,
if you guys don't have
if
a
an
what
obedient
what are
speak
you
like
guys
this
saying?
now, it will be trouble. So, sir,
Organ,
you are on another level of
don't
supporting Atiku,
know.
saying that if any other candidate gets the ticket, you will vote. But he is not ready to vote for
Organo,
any other person aside from Atiku. So even if
We
Atiku
will
doesn't go,
see.
so he's not
Madam,
a
Madam
member
Dele,
of ADC.
Madam
He's
Dele,
just an
Madam
articulated.
Dele, don't waste, Madam Dele, don't waste your time and energy. You know, time is fast spent. We will support whosoever takes the ticket of our party. Okay? And that is why I'm pleading with everybody, whether you're then you articulate, you are, you know, a magist or whatever the nomenclature is. We will support our party members to the shame of our detractors who believe we can never come together. Now they are guilty because they can see everybody moving together. Look, Peter Obi is already an accomplished human being. Even when he gets to heaven, it will still be accomplished. God has blessed him beyond the imagination to be president to serve Nigeria. Atiku does not have to be president to serve Nigeria. There's nothing we are fighting over. Whosoever gets sick, we just want a better Nigeria. Let us not wash dirty linens in public. Let us come together as one. We are one family. The moment you start saying you articulate, you are obedient, or something, it means that we are not ready for power. And that is what APC wants. Let's avoid what will make us play into their hands. Please. Thank you.
Well, that's a very good
Okay.
point, Dele.
Thank
But
you.
just remember that not everybody is like you or me or Atiku
But that's
or
why
Peter
I'm here
Obi.
to preach the
You know?
philosophy of peace. We cannot achieve anything without peace. Okay? Don't let's behave
Okay.
like thugs. Let's behave like reasonable human beings.
Okay.
Even Tinubu, I will not agree that anybody should insult Tinubu on this platform. No insult. You can say he's a dictator, so let him prove to us that he's not a dictator. You can tell us that his economic policy has failed. Let him prove to us that it has not failed. You can prove to us that insecurity has worsened under Tinubu. Let Tinubu prove to us that it has not worsened. You can tell us that life has become very tough and unbearable under Tinubu, comparing it to when it overpower in 2023. These are issues that will be discussed, not personal issues, not personal attacks. Thank you.
Yeah, well, a lot of the people who die like dogs in this country are persons. So please forgive us if sometimes people become overcome with grief and anger and direct personal insult at the person who is causing so many persons to die. Okay?
No, the
Right.
insult have not helped the situation. And a lot of
Uh-huh.
times, people you are attacking don't even read anything. And our president has said he does not go on social media because it make him miserable. So, if you keep saying things and the man does not respond, maybe it's not even, you understand, reading it. So don't waste
Yeah, see,
your saliva.
I'm not here to tell people. I'm very angry with Tinubu myself at the moment. I do not stoop to the level of people like Reno Omokri and Femi Fanikade, who had thoroughly abused the man on very personal grounds before they became ambassadors. But let's just say that I do feel that people have a right to lose their temper with Tinubu and say mean things about him because lives are at stake.
No. Saying mean things about people is more of a reflection of who you are. I will never say mean things against Tinubu, though
But that's because
I
he used to be your
detest
friend. You people still have an emotional bond. Can we
democratic
now move on to
credential.
Ibrahim, please?
Like, okay,
You still have an
let's go on.
emotional bond with the man.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
Mr. Ibrahim, please, moving
Oh,
forward,
it's not about
maximum.
emotional brand. It's not even about emotional bond. If you know me, my mother came from Bongon. We call them original or your people. Okay, we were brought up as a mother be. If I disagree with does not mean I will disrespect you. I won't. Tinubu is not my enemy. I've said this times without number. If money is what I was looking for, I'll be with him. He won't chase me away. Don't abuse him. I don't know with him. But I'm
No.
telling you, if I'm the last man standing, I have seen the goodness of Atiku, and I've seen that this will be a competent administrator, and I will support him, even if I'm the only one. Even if everybody decides it, you can see me. That's who I am. In Ghana, when I was
Well,
supporting President Mahama, there was no abuse I could not receive from people. You are supporting a man who can never be president again. You are supporting a failure. You always support failure. Forgot that supported Buhari, he became president. Okay. I don't am supporting the government, the abuse. I'm used to being, I don't care. I'm saying I will continue to teach our young people about how to have decent conversations. And that's what we're doing. Thank you.
Okay, Mr. Ibrahim, so just go straight to your question and maximum of 2 questions, please, so you can speak now.
Yes, good evening, Auntie Donu, and good evening, Are, and other co-hosts. I salute everyone this evening.
Thank
I think
you.
this morning, yeah, thank you. Ibrahim calling. I'm Ibrahim from Abuja here. Now, I have only one question, after which I will just make a comment, a passing comment. My question is, Are, I noticed with great nostalgia that since 1999 till date, every successive government is worse than the previous one. Beginning from Obasanjo, Goodluck Jonathan, President Buhari, and now Asuwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The later one is usually worse than the previous one. Up north, where I came from, actually northwest, if Buhari had not become president of Nigeria, some of us may go to his grave and will be worshiping in his grave, thinking that he was the Messiah we never had. But history has shown that all that glitter is not good. Now, what makes you think, Are, that the candidate of ADC will not be worse than Bat? That is my question. That is my question. Then for the comments I want to make, I agree with you totally that Atiku Abubakar has a intimidating democratic credentials. For some of us who witnessed what happened in Jos, I'm talking about 1993. You know, MK Abiola took first, Kingibe second, and himself third. And he was simply asked to withdraw and support MKO in the next ballot, in the second ballot, in the runner-up, in the second ballot. And he withdrew, joined forces with MKO, and that was how MKO defeated Babagana Kingibe. Yet he was not made the vice president. Instead, the person that did not withdraw, the person that contested with MKO actually became the vice president, and yet Atiku never raised an eyebrow. That's one. Secondly, I concur with you on that. Secondly, in 2006, we are living witness. Atiku Abubakar, alongside with other Democrats, the late Gali Umar Naamba, who was the Speaker of House of Rep, and the Senate President Ken Inamani, and other well-meaning Nigeria. Of course, Atiku was in the forefront for against third time of President Obasanjo, as he then was. You know, fought tooth and nail to ensure that that never came to fruition. You know, and Atiku has a record of being the most fought vice president ever in the history of Nigeria by his principal. About 11 court cases, I think he won 10, if I'm not mistaken. You know, so, and you said he took second in the last election, but I can assure you that if not for his miscalculation, you know, he would have actually become the president in 2023, because All he needed was to allow Wike to become vice president, was to pick Wike as his running mate. If he had done that, Atiku would have been in Aso Rock by now. It was a sheer miscalculation. It was a sheer miscalculation on his part and maybe providence. And I agree with you, maybe God never wanted him at that time, or perhaps forever. So those are my candid observations and comment. I thank you very much and have a wonderful night rest. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank
much,
you,
sir.
Sam. Thank
Brilliant,
you.
very brilliant presentation and
Yes.
simply put. You said from 1999 to date, we've been moving from bad to worse. I agree with you. But like I mentioned earlier, until you try a man, you can never know his true capacity. And that's why democracy allows every 4, every 5, every 6 years, depending on the constitutional state of your country. So we'll keep trying and hoping that we will get it right at some point. There is no guarantee. Even those who are saying right now that it can only be one person, no other person, they're shocked. They'll be shocked. For me, the number one credential expecting from any right now is your democratic credential. Are you ready to tolerate the views of every Nigerian? Are you matured enough not to take anybody as your enemy? Are you serious enough not to be vindictive? The level of vindictiveness from government to government in Nigeria using state apparatus to attack their opponents, these are things that I believe Atiku will be able to checkmate. And they are very, very important. Without peace, without level playing field, like you mentioned, we are going nowhere. Then you raised the issue of what did I write here? Maybe from 1996, then Tinubu 2006. You mentioned Tinubu that in 2006 he did some things, but unfortunately I didn't write it finish. But I noticed that your other one is that Atiku would have won the election. Wike was vice president. That is assumption. The same way people are saying Wike and Kwankwaso will win now. Atiku tried Obi in 2019. They did not win. So I don't think there is any guarantee that they will win. As for Tinubu, I don't know his strategy, but the way I'm looking at it right now, if a northerner, and I won't say Atiku now, it would be Tambua. Tambua for me would be a fantastic choice as well if Atiku does not get it. I still believe that in terms of the mathematics of getting power, a northerner must be on that ticket and must number one on the ticket. Because you have to give the north an incentive for them to come all out en mass. If you just pick a southerner and you pick a northerner as a running mate, I'm telling you that incentive, because Tinubu is not a regular customer. It's not a regular. He's not going to be a regular customer in 2024. If a man is ready to put everything into this race, so you need a formidable firepower. That's why I always talk about the Isaac Newton's law of motion. Actions and reactions are always equal and opposite. If you don't come from an opposite direction against him, there's no way a southerner can beat him. It's going to be difficult. Even if Obi, let's just say, hypothetically, that Obi today decides to leave AD, brings Kwankwaso in 2027. I'm not God. I'm not going to say it's impossible. It makes the race tighter. It could also tilt the race in favor of whosoever that northern candidate is. Because both Obi and Tinubu are from the south. So they have to all they will split the votes of the south. Contrary to what people last time. Last time, don't forget, Tinubu had Buhari. He doesn't have Buhari this time. So the coast will be clear for a Tambua, for an Atiku, for a Erufai, whoever they decide to pick. And that is going to be so overwhelming that it will make the race tougher and tighter for Tinubu to win. They are going to split this out, definitely. If Obi is in the race, in whatever capacity, but the North is very crucial. Anybody who ignores the North or say, oh, we can just pick a VP from the North, why would they then come and die for a Southern candidate? They have no reason to die for a Southern candidate. Yeah, okay, then let's vote. A few of them will vote. If they read them, nobody is going to fight. But if they have a Northern candidate now, that Buhari is no longer around, it's going to be one man versus the Southern candidates. It's going to be interesting. I'm not going to put a bet on it yet, but just I believe you need an Atiku right now. It's the most formidable person who has legs in the north, has legs in the south. There's no other person that has that. Any other person is still building it, and it's not yet on Creation Day. Thank you.
Okay, so
Madam Bunu, if you can hear me, I'm getting tired now. I have to sleep. In Morocco, it's very late night. I have to sleep. So let's do another
You
30
have done
minutes.
really well.
Thank
You've
you.
done very well
Really
for
bad.
us.
Thank you. Oh no, you've done
Can
well
we
for
take
all.
one final
It's
question?
for our country. It's nothing personal. It's for our country.